Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Tom Hesser Dealerships, is on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome inside Ironman Memorial Stadium. We're in Montour County. Tonight, it's a Friday Night Rivals Top 10 showdown for the District 4 3A Championship as number 6 Loyalsock takes on number 2 Danville. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to playoff time here on MyTV WQMY. I'm Bob I, joined tonight by former South Williamsport head coach Rich Zalonis. And Rich, looking at the beginning of the season, I think everyone pinpointed these two teams to be here right now playing for the district championship.
Yeah, way back in October when they met in week 4, I believe, after the show that both of those teams put on. Barring major injuries, I think every football person was sort of eyeing this one up down the road, looking at the brackets, and sure enough, here we are.
Here we are. Both teams are really potent on the offensive side. Loyalsock averages nearly 39 points per game. Davion Hill, you're going to see him run around a lot. We know about him. But the guy I think that really has taken the stride to the next level is our Allied Services player of the game, spotlight player, Jalen Andrews.
Well, the 6'2 junior has emerged as a major weapon, leads District 4 in receiving yards, and from the second or third week on has really continued to improve. Last week, 7 catches, 244 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's a career for some people. He comes into tonight, Bob, with 54 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 20 touchdowns. He's a force.
The Ironmen, as you know, can score points too, nearly 50 points per game. They like to run the ball, but they also like to pass it, and they have one of the best receivers ever in District 4, Carson Persing.
And Carson comes in a 2-time All-State player, and you name the accolade, he's got it, an outstanding student as well. 44 receptions this year, 968 yards, 21 touchdowns, and over 4,000 yards for his career with 57 touchdowns. That's unheard of.
It is unheard of. Well, we had a snow squall come through. Snow has stopped. But let's check in now with the weather with Chief Meteorologist Mike Susko from the Fox 56 News, first at 10.
Hey guys, it sure is cold out there right now. I hope you're bundled up there because it is going to be cold through the rest of the game. 32 at halftime. Partly cloudy sky though. Those snow showers are moving to the east, and unless you're east of I-476 in the northeast extension, then you will be dry. End of the game, 30 degrees here tonight, and then after that we will fall down into the 20s. Everyone getting very close to that 20-degree mark tonight. Teens for the higher elevations, and we'll talk more about that coming up at the news at 10. But for now, let's send it back out to the field.
Thank you, Mike. We're all set. It's the District 4 3A Championship between number 6 Loyalsock and number 2 Danville next.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Tom Hesser Dealerships on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome back. Both teams on the field. Danville won the toss. They want the ball to begin this district championship. We'll get to the keys to the game, Coach, in about a minute. Chris Cooley tees it up for Loyalsock. Loyalsock's in the white tonight with the maroon helmets. Orange is on the home team, and it's the Danville Warriors. Johnson and Persing at the 5, ready to receive. And we are set. The snow is gone. Squalls are gone. A little chilly, but the District 4 3A Championship is underway, and it's Johnson from his 11. Johnson up quickly. Looks like past the 30, and now let's check in on Zach Gordon. He's number 8. He's the starting quarterback, and he's been Rich the starting quarterback all year long. What impresses us, 27 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and any coach likes to see that ratio. He knows what he's doing. He's a seasoned vet, doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. He runs the machine.
And you can see that was taped before the game. You can see that's when the snow squall came in. But there's Zach now, no snow, and he sets up with Stauffer next to him. Stauffer's a senior with over 1,000 yards on the year. So from the 39, it's Stauffer, has the edge. Nope, this is Gordon, a quarterback sneak. It's in for a perfect storm renovations, first down for Gordon.
So right off the bat, you see a zone read here, but it's a keep. Gordon Reed, the outside man, takes it down the sideline, and Loyalsock's going to have to defend the perimeter much better than that, or they're going to be in for a long evening.
About a 16-yard gain for the first play. This team averages 47 points per game and 383 total yards, and they give it up front. Stauffer's first carry is going to go for about 1 yard. So let's check in now with the offense. This is what is going to be on the field. Gordon, Stauffer, and Ropp when we see a fullback in there. The wide receivers are excellent. We talk about Persing. When Johnson may be underrated, we'll talk about him in a second. And up front, Coach, what do you see from this offensive line of Danville?
Well, nice size, not real tall, but they do their jobs. They're well coached and they're physical.
Gordon rolls. First pass is off the tip of Madden Patrick. Goes out of bounds, incomplete.
Pass intended for Matt Patrick, incomplete.
And that's something to keep an eye on tonight, because in the first meeting, Danville hurt Loyalsock with their backs out in the flat, and that area of the field continued to give Loyalsock problems up until last week. Coach Van Fleet said they addressed it, went over it this week, but he was open again. The pass just sailed high.
So an early big third down, call it 9 for the Ironmen.
But they're going to have to hurry. There's 7 seconds left, and Mike might spend a timeout here.
It's going to be an early timeout. So we have a chance with this timeout to check the keys to the game. Coach, how about first for Loyalsock?
Well, for Sock, Coach Van Fleet says we got to control the line of scrimmage. He wasn't real pleased last week, and he wasn't pleased the first time they met. He thought they could have did a much better job. And anytime you get into this situation, you got to win the turnover battle. And with Danville's big strike offense, he's concerned about limiting their big plays.
How about for the Ironmen?
Well, for Danville, same thing. You got the three-headed monster plus one tonight, stopping G, Hill, and Andrews. And you got to run the football and make the most of the red zone opportunities.
Well, when Loyalsock has the ball, they're going to welcome back number 13, Ryan Glunk, an all-state wide receiver. And we can talk about more when they have the ball. But while we have a quick timeout, having him back, that has to give some inspiration to this Lancer team.
Absolutely. You get somebody back who's an all-state receiver, that only adds to the firepower they already have.
3rd and 9 after the early timeout by Danville. Let's see what they can do. Fake the handoff. Plenty of time for Gordon. Down the middle, trying to hit Persing, makes the catch, and it's an Ironman touchdown, 44 yards. Blaze Alexander touchdown, an early one for Danville.
You can see Loyalsock gives up. Ryan Glunk gives up inside leverage to Persing, and he takes it on a post pattern. The ball's put right on the money, and you give up leverage like that, and there's nobody else back there, you're going to get the result that Danville just had, and it's a 6-0 lead on a big play, just what we just finished talking about.
That's our spotlight player, 58th touchdown in his career. 4,000-yard reception. Johnson's kick is up and good. Second only to Julian Fleming, which is amazing.
Yeah, it is, and we know where he's at.
Yeah. He's at Ohio State and having a great year himself.
Absolutely.
From Southern Columbia. So nice drive early on. $61-yard drive.
And there it is, from the end zone, you can see right now he throws the ball. He throws him open, but he had inside leverage. And once you get that with no other safety around, Danville, Persing's been doing this his whole career, so it's just second nature.
4 plays, 61 yards, just 56 seconds off the clock. An early timeout by Danville, and they connect on a 3rd down and long. So last time we saw not a lot of scoring in the first half. 7-0 at halftime down at Loyalsock. A lot different already here early on.
Yeah, and you would think it would be opposite with the weather being what it is tonight. But as we said earlier, it shouldn't really affect the game now that everything's slowed down and stopped. But something to pay attention to, when they run that zone read action on 3rd down and long, the secondary and backers shouldn't really be paying any attention to that. It's just eye candy. And, if your eyes aren't in the right spot with the offenses that these two teams run tonight, it could be a long evening defensively.
So Hoffman has it teed up there. You see Justin Van Fleet, 11th season, 81 of 43 overall for the longtime coach. With ties to West Scranton, by the way, the Van Fleets of West Scranton. And Hill and Andrews back to receive 2 threats back there. Let's see if they even actually kick them the ball.
You know, they've been back deep the whole year, but when you look through the stats, they don't have very many returns. So, and there's a reason for that.
They didn't give up a lot of touchdowns, but they, Loyalsock's coming off a tough win last week, 69-42 over Mifflinburg, the most points they've given up all year long.
And they had issues with the pass game against Mifflinburg last week, and hopefully, if you're Coach Van Fleet, you want to get that corrected. But so far, not so good.
So Hoffman has it ready. Up 7-0. The Ironmen kick it, and it will be Andrews from his 14. Good special teams rope down there to make the stop in the Loyalsock offense. Under Tyler G will take the field at the 29-yard line. G having great year as well, over 2,400 yards, coach, 24 touchdowns.
Absolutely, and he runs Sock's machine, so he'll hurt you with his arm, it'll hurt you with his legs, and I look for them to run quite a bit of zone read tonight, reading the outside backers or defensive ends.
On 25-yard line, Hill behind him. Now Ryan Glunk in the offense. We'll take a look at him. 3 wideouts on the first down play. They give it to Hill, who had a big game last time. Hill into the open. Can anyone catch him? Davion Hill is going to be caught, but a big play for Loyalsock. No flags down, and Hill inside the 20 red zone.
Well, here we go. Let's get our track shoes on. Might be one of those nights, Bob. So we get an inside zone read here, and you crease that, and once Davion gets into the secondary, he knows what to do with it, and away he goes.
Allied Services red zone. It's a perfect storm. Renovations first down from the 9. G, another weapon. He likes to run the ball up for a couple of yards.
Yep, same zone read concept. He pulled it. This time kept it, got some yardage. And one thing you'll notice about Loyalsock, they do not huddle. It doesn't necessarily mean they're up tempo. They just won't huddle. They'll call everything from the line of scrimmage. Sidelines to the line. So one of the things we did talk about earlier, Bob, was making sure that Sock makes the most of their opportunities, and they've got one here now.
And remember, this is a Danville team that just gives up 3.3 points per game. Shutouts just about every week. Hill using his legs, great tackle. Nope, they say he's down at the 3. Persing, a little banged up. You see him shaking his arm there, but a tough run from Davion Hill.
It's interesting that you would say that, Bob. They've shut out 8 opponents this year, and the only 2 teams to score against them have been Southern Columbia and Sock, 14 points apiece. And Sock actually moved the ball very well against them the first time around.
They absolutely did. Sock put up big numbers.
457 yards.
Yeah. So a big 3rd and 4 here, 3rd and goal. So far, good defense. Hill stood up. So now choice for Justin Van Fleet from the 2. Do you go for it on 4th down? Slippery conditions, maybe not a field goal opportunity. Danville's defense playing tough.
Well, I hate to say this with 9:12 and counting to go in the first quarter, but a field goal might be meaningless. And every coach fiber in my body says don't say that, but the way these teams are playing offensively, at least to start the game.
Let's see, we have a trick play here. Hill's still behind them. 3 wideouts. They're going to go to the air to the corner. For Andrews, bobbles but makes the catch. It's a Blaze Alexander Loyalsock touchdown.
Yeah, well done by G and Loyalsock. It's just a quick read. He liked the matchup that he had on the line of scrimmage, and you'll just see it here. He just throws an outside fade, and look where he puts the ball. Either Andrews gets it or nobody gets it, and that's well done.
Coach, we're not even 5 minutes into this game, and we're going to be tied at 7. Already a different feel than the last time these 2 teams met.
Absolutely.
Kick is up, and we are tied. 8:46 left in the first. 7-all in the District 4 3A championship. As I mentioned, barely 3.5 minutes into this game. We're tied at 7. Davion Hill with a long 65-yard run. That set up the touchdown for Loyalsock. Persing already has a touchdown, so the Stars are coming out tonight, Coach.
They're out, and there's lots of them. There's lots of them, I'll tell you. The execution by both teams right off the bat, you can see why they're still playing.
Cooley. Short kick. Taken by Mason Rupp, and Rupp up to the 45, so very good field condition. We're going to take a look at the touchdown again, that little fade pattern to Andrews, and Andrews having a great year. That's his 21st touchdown on the season.
Well, we talked about having seasoned quarterbacks, but when we see the touchdown again, there's a couple plays before.
Yeah, a couple plays before. Yep. So a couple plays were Hill and good. Danville's defense played tough there.
They did.
And you almost forced them to pass.
Well, it's the same deal. Sock had Danville in 3rd and long the first time and gave up the big play. So back and forth.
Stauffer, good D.
Okay, another zone read give there, and Stauffer tried to take it to the outside. Malachi Coleman did a nice job maintaining leverage and not giving him the corner.
Yeah, Coleman Jr., 21 total tackles on the year, 3 for a loss. The scoreboard reads 2nd down and 99, Coach. I don't think that's correct, but that's just me.
Well, they adjusted.
It's 9, yeah.
We'll see if Danville chooses to go back to throwing in the flat here. And on their 2nd down, they did it the first series, and it was open.
Gordon looking, plenty of time. Here comes the rush, and they take him down first sack of the night for the Lancers, and it's Coleman, his 3rd sack on the year.
Yeah, we just called his name, and he's been all over the place for Sock as of late. This is a coverage sack. You can see Gordon standing, and Coleman eventually gets around the corner, and that's 2 plays for him now, and he's off to a good start. The 6'2", 195-pound junior. He'll be coming back for Coach Van Fleet.
If there is a question mark, maybe what's the defense for Loyalsock after giving up so many points last week to Mifflinburg. Their average is 16 points per game, but they get a sack. That's pretty good.
Well, here you go. Danville's in long yardage again.
Yeah, they give it to Stauffer. They're going to play it safe, so the punt team will come back on.
Stauffer with the carry. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage.
So 9 for him, and good defense from the Lancers.
Correct. They got him in the long yardage, and now Stauffer gets the corner. But in this situation, Loyalsock can give up some ground because they had such long yardage to go for the 1st down. And we'll get a look at Davion and Jalen back deep for the punt. It's a nightmare whether you're kicking off or punting to them.
Hoffman, the kick, high, and everyone gets out of the way. Takes a Danville roll inside the 15. It's going to die on the turf here at the 12. Here is the offense for the Loyalsock Lancers, averaging 39 points per game, brought to you by Blaze Alexander. G. Hill, and we'll see a little bit of Kai Kavanaugh. He does do well out of the back. Glunk is the one guy we talked about. Watch out for him, but Andrews was our spotlight player as well. And there's the offensive line, Coach. Everyone, you look at Hornberger, but how about the rest of the offensive line for this Loyalsock
nice size, coupled with some youth and some seniors. Somebody to keep an eye on down the road is freshman Jeremiah Johnson, 6'2", 240, and he's as advertised for a youngster. He doesn't play like a freshman.
So this Danville defense that didn't give up any points in the playoffs did already. Back to Hill. Ripped down, but a positive gain of 3.
Yeah, another inside zone for Loyalsock, and that's the play that he popped the first one on, and that's a gain of 5 or 6. I'll tell you what, offensive coordinator Andy Brown will take that all night long.
Hill last week, 29 carries, 263 yards. That's a career high, and 3 touchdowns.
And you see by formation here, they've got Glunk and Andrews on either side of the field. They're really putting Danville in a predicament.
Back to Hill, but that defense is there. Get them wrapped up by the legs. They do. And Rupp, I think, made the stop.
He was there. So is Cameron Kirsch, I believe, also. And listen, this defense is as advertised as also, even though they've given up a quick touchdown. they're well coached, and you can see
Yeah.
it. You can see it now. They'd say they're a 3-4, but those two outside linebackers will be up on the line of scrimmage quite a bit tonight, so it's going to look more like a 52.
How about Mason Rupp, Coach? His career, 534 total tackles. Is that right?
It's right. He's got 124
Wow.
just this year.
That's unbelievable. Number 12. Watch out for him. We'll see him all night long. And 5:17 left, and we have
There
whistles.
might be a clock issue, I think, or something.
Good crowd on hand despite the weather. We're a little bit chilly. Coach and I are outside tonight enjoying the game. I say enjoying, but it is a good game. It's keeping us warm. And here's everyone bundled up.
One of the things when I said earlier is something to watch for tonight if you're watching at home. Loyalsock's putting their receivers on either side of the field, and that's going to create a matchup problem because if you roll, you can't roll your safety one way or the other. You have to pretty much play straight, and if you go to move your safety, then you've got to deal with Davion in the backfield going right up the middle with nobody there. So it'll be interesting to see the chess game that goes on tonight with some of the formations that Sock uses to try and put Danville in a predicament.
Well, there you see, it is a Loyalsock timeout with 5:14 left.
You can also see it soon on demand.
There you saw our referees out of District 4 tonight. Tyler G. last game had a great game against Danville, 14 of 22, 279, Coach, and a touchdown. And, you know, they left some points on the board out at Lancer Stadium.
Yeah, you score that many points and then you leave more on the board. They said they could have been in the high 70s easily.
So on 3rd and 5 after the timeout, let's see what Loyalsock has in store. Hill comes to the near side. Oh, high throw. Came out of his hand a little bit wobbly, trying to hit Ryan Glunk, who's had his first game back in about 5-6 weeks.
And the throw was high. Glunk was open. Now, people will call this a whole bunch of different things, a comeback. Some people call it spot. They'll just run to a spot. But he was open, and if that pass was on the money, it would have been caught, and it would have been a first down for the Lancers.
Cole Duffy on the play in the secondary for Danville. So G does the punting, averaging 34 yards per game. High kick, fair catch by Johnson, right at
Fair catch called by
Parson Persing, right at midfield, and here comes Danville offense. So we see Danville get the ball, Loyalsock get the ball, they score. They both get the ball again, defenses. Is this going to be a trend tonight?
Well, I don't know, but I thought Coach Brennan did a smart move there by playing it safe on that 3rd down, tried to flip the field, and they're going to start their next possession here at midfield almost, if not on Loyalsock's side of the field by a little bit. So that's what you're looking for, and we'll see if Danville can move the ball here on their 3rd possession.
Well, the referees huddled. I think you may be correct, as you said before, a clock issue. So the referee's coming over. He's going to talk to Coach Brennan about something. No flag was thrown. In fact, we haven't had a flag yet tonight.
Yeah, usually when they make that visit over to you, that's what they're coming to tell you. There's some issue with the 25-second clock or the game clock, and they'll keep it on the field.
So they're looking around.
Again, as we talked earlier, though, you know, Aaron Johnson, we were mentioning, maybe one of the unsung heroes for this Danville team. I've got him coming in tonight, 21 receptions for 523 yards, but he's also rushed the football for 380 yards, so he's kind of Danville's Swiss Army knife, if you will.
Plus, he had that big interception at the end of the game the last time these two teams played. So on defense, he's doing it all. So
Correct.
21, definitely one of the guys you don't hear a lot about. But he just brings his bucket to the game in his lunchbox, and he just does what he needs to do. Love that. So after that timeout, brief timeout, 5:03 left in the first. There you see the 5-man front for Loyalsock. Stauffer, he has his longest run. It's a perfect storm. Renovations first down up to the 30. So a gain of almost 20 yards.
Yeah, draw play here for Danville. And Stauffer does an awesome job of setting the blocks up. You'll see it from the end zone. Watch, he's inside, bang, dips to the outside right there. That causes Andrews to change his angle, and the next thing you know, he's up the field. He's got excellent speed.
He had a career high against Shamokin last year, 239 yards. So we know that Stauffer, headed to Army, by the way, he can run the ball. Back to number 5 with a big gap. Hill meets him right at the 20. Gain of 9, just short of the line to gain.
And they're running to their left primarily tonight so far, and there may be a reason for that. And Sock's got a sophomore linebacker playing in his second start, basically. And, Mike Brennan knows what he's doing, and you can bet they're well scouted, but they've been getting good yardage off of their offense's left side.
There you saw Blake Phillips, one of the guys, maybe you're talking about number 40,
Correct.
Just a sophomore as well, 28 total tackles, but still some inexperience there. Gordon, a keeper. He's got the perfect storm renovations first down.
Yeah, that's going to come back, Bob.
Yeah,
that time
I saw a
Phillips
flag.
got tackled.
Yep. So this one is coming back. Our first flag of the night here in the first quarter.
And again, attacking that left-hand, Loyalsock's right-hand side of their defense, but that was obvious.
Holding, orange number 50. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
You call that on Joe Shipe.
Yep, Shipe, yep. So this will back them up for Danville. Field doesn't seem like it's too slippery, even though that squall came out. You see some snow on the ground, but so far, no, I haven't seen any people slipping or anything.
Great shape.
Gordon time, quick one down the middle. The tight end rope gets open. The fullback, and it's a Blaze Alexander touchdown, 30 yards for Danville.
Well, that's the same pattern right there, and somebody in Loyalsock, one of their linebackers, got caught looking where they shouldn't, and he ran right by him in the seam. You'll see it right now. There he goes. There's the release, and that's an easy pitch and catch. And that's going to be Rob's second touchdown of the year, or third receiving touchdown. He had one on the ground earlier.
Extra point. Johnson is up and good. So 3 scores in the first quarter. Already 3:56 left in the first. And let's look at this pass and catch again.
Yeah, so you see from this angle, he knew immediately that he was going to be open. And again, there's nobody in the middle of the field. Sock must have been in a cover 0, and that was an easy read. Real easy read for Zach Gordon. He'll take that one all the time.
I misspoke. The PAT was no good, so it's 13-7 is the score.
Well, if there were any points for distance, he would have got 4.
He put it back there pretty quick. So the referees are talking about something down there, huddling up. It's hard to tell all the way up here what is going on the field. I thought the extra point looked good to me.
Yeah, so did I. I thought,
right down the middle, but
we're off to the side here, so.
Yeah. It is hard to tell.
Normally we'd be talking about how that might come back to haunt, but the way this is like a slot machine already.
Talk to me in an hour and a half, and I'll forget that about the PAT being missed in an hour and a half.
We're not even out of the first quarter yet. We've got 20 points.
Mike Brennan, 3rd season here, already 2 district titles. Trying to pick up a 3rd. Boy, 17th overall. One of the best coaches in the state, probably. Has a state title with Mount Carmel underneath his belt.
Every place he's been, Blue Mountain, Hazleton, Mount Carmel, everybody says the same thing about him. Not only is he a very good football coach, but he's even a better person. I mean, he cares about the kids. He does a great job and runs quality in class programs. And at this level, that's what it should be all about.
Yeah, he really enjoys himself here at Danville. Feels like he found a home. Hoffman's kick towards the side of Andrews, and he picks it up about the 19. Not much room there, and about a 10-yard gain at best. So Loyalsock down 6 now. Back onto the field. And let's take a look at this Danville defense. We talked about 3.3 points per game coming in. There's your defensive front.
And they'll give you that 3-man front, and they call it a 3-4, but actually Stauffer and Kirsch are really outside linebacker, defensive end hybrids. They can play both.
There you see the secondary, which may get some looks tonight, get some work working against this Loyalsock team. That's your Danville defense, brought to you by Blaze Alexander Family Dealerships.
And Gordon had a big week last week defensively for Danville. I believe returned an interception for a touchdown.
Davion Hill with the carry.
Still goes off the right side for a couple of yards there, Bob. It's
Not
gonna
much
bring up-
running room.
Not in that one. He veered it a little bit more to the outside. They had kept the initial two in tighter on that zone read when he had the big runs. But still in all, not a bad gain, 3.5 yards.
Do you think they're setting up the play action
They may be.
later on? Gee, got a good handle on the ball this time. He has time, but no one's open. Pulls it down, tries to dive forward.
Yeah,
Going to be short of the first.
Smart move by Tyler not to make a bad throw there. There was no one open, so he kept it, got some positive yardage. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and very manageable for the Lancers.
G with the keeper up the
Good
left
good
side.
job by that Danville secondary.
So the general rule of thumb, Bob, is when you look at the screen and you see what they call too high safeties, you generally want to run against that. And that's what Loyalsock will try and do. And if Danville tries and drops one of those safeties down, then that's when you want to try and throw. So far, Mike's kept 2 on the hashes.
Hill in the block, no 1-2 block over the middle. A big hit. No catch, Ryan Glunk. Welcome back. Takes a big hit right over the middle.
He did, and he went into,
Kate Cush.
yep. And then, Danville sitting in their zones just waiting for that. It was a good ball. Should have been caught, but he took a big wallop here right there. Clean hit.
That's a tough return for Ryan Glunk.
It is.
Was hurt in the preseason, got hurt again in the season.
And Tyler G's going to come on here to
Yeah.
punt the ball for the Lancers.
And all the weapon back is Persing to receive. He can return it from there. Side of his foot. And again, Danville will have excellent field position to begin another drive. Just inside the 40-yard line, I should say.
Well, it's just inside the 40, and I believe this is their, I'm being sarcastic here, worst field position to start the game. And obviously, I think anybody would take this starting field position all game long, but Danville's been fortunate, and Sock's going to have to come up with a stop here because I don't know if they want to get 2 touchdowns behind with the firepower.
You don't want to play
Danville
catch-up.
has. Nope.
So Loyalsock defense, which gave up a bunch of points last week, going to get some work here. Tries to hold Danville down. Off that left side again. G comes up, but Stauffer pulls ahead. Nice gain of about 5.
It played much better that time by Sock's defense. They actually picked up their tight end and brought him over to the side they want to run to. But again, something to keep an eye on. Another run to the left-hand side and on 1st down again. So it seems to be a theme. Nice yardage, though.
Yeah. Made something out of nothing. Phillips in there as well to stop, but go blocking up front. Point of emphasis preseason and offseason for Danville was the weight room, especially since they got beat on the ball last year against Newman Goretti in the playoffs. And they got beat up front, and they knew it. Well, they can't stop number 51 in the middle there. And Jeremiah Johnson. Let's take a look at the defense now for Loyalsock. And when they started the game, this is what it looked like. Score in there, Hornberger and Coleman already with the sack. The linebackers, boy, very active, just as good. Gavin Rice in there, Kai Cavanaugh. 2 of the best in District 4, and then the secondary, they make some changes. G gets back there. They also have Davion Hill at cornerback and Patterson.
Correct.
So on 3rd and 5. Good defense out to Rupp. G there to make the stop, and Danville's punt team forced to come on.
And there's one of those changes as Tyler G was not in the secondary all season and not there the first time around. But Danville had excellent success throwing a variation of that pattern in the flat to Raup the first time. G there to defend it, and a big stop for Loyalsock.
It is a big stop. Hoffman on, averaging 39 yards. Andrews and Hill back. High hanging kick. Good kick. Hill back. Doesn't pick it up and lets it take a bounce. I'm not sure if he should have caught that. I mean, he had running room.
Yeah, he did have some running room, but I think he was a little bit taken aback at that punt. That was a monster punt.
Inside the 20. Lancers take over at their own 18.
So, 1:17 left in the first. 13-7 your score for the District 4 3A championship.
But Hoffman's been doing that all year. He's got 4 inside the 20, a long of 48. That might be close to his long. That was a decent punt.
It was high, too. The hang time on that must have been like 3-4 seconds, and that's what you want out of your punter. So here comes Hill back again. 31 carries last time they played these two teams. 168 yards for Hill. Let's see if they go back to him on first. Nope, they're going to go to the play action. Over the middle again. It's caught, and that is Patterson who makes the catch for a Perfect Storm Renovations first down.
Right, and there's a variation of an RPO there, and he actually ran right into coverage, but G put the ball right on the money. You can see it right now. He had inside leverage, but ran him right into the safety, so that's a nice catch by Gage. 22nd reception of the year for him.
Under a minute to play in the first. Read option, Hill takes it, falls forward for about 3.
Yeah, I think if Tyler had that one back, he would want to pull that and keep it. Everybody vacuumed in and collapsed when he showed the ball to Davion.
Ryan Glunk, number 13, after that big hit in the last series, is back on the field. Good to see that. So it should be the last play of the first quarter, depending on if it's a first down or not, but then they'll run the clock. The play clocks are not working now.
See, now it's down to 1 second. So that must have been what the problem was.
G being flush, can run it for a first. He does. Has a Perfect Storm Renovations first down, gain of 10, just past the 40.
Yeah, wonderful keep by G. I think, obviously you wanted to throw it at first, but you're going to see no one keeps their contained by Danville on the defensive end, and that's an easy pickup for Tyler, and he's going to scoot for a first down.
And we're going to scoot on out. First quarter in the books. 13-7 your score in the District 4 3A championship. Quarter number 2 on the other side. We are back in Montour County. Loyalsock down 6 to number 2 Danville. They're the District 4 3A championship. Bob-eyed Ritzalonis trying to keep warm up on the veranda here at Ironman Stadium. But so far, 20 points on the board. Totally different game than game number 1 in week number 4.
And both of these offenses have accelerated as their year has gone on for their respective teams, and it has been some fireworks here in the first quarter for sure.
Hill shedding tackles, falls forward.
And there's a great look at one of their zone reads. They didn't even bother, and they didn't block Justin Kutcher here, but watch, Davion just runs right by him, and you're not going to bring him down with an arm tackle. You're going to get bodies to the ball.
Gain of 4 for Hill, and they'll just keep him on the ball. And that one, I think he wanted back because he thinks he could have broke that one.
Yeah, you're a 6'2 senior. You're talking. We didn't even mention him because of all the other athletes. He's got 1,722 yards, 19 rushing touchdowns on the year. And there he goes for another 3 or 4. And if you want to keep Danville's offense off the field, this is how you do it.
Danville 49.
Third and short now, facing Hill and company. Trying to keep the ball, maybe put a drive together, take some time off the clock.
And a little bit of change in the wind here, Bob, as I'm looking down at the flags. This at Loyalsock's back now. So maybe something to keep in mind if you get closer for a field goal at this point in time, if you have to do it.
Well-balanced offense for this Lancer team. G's going to keep it, but Danville's defense is right there to make the stop. Nowhere to go. Cush coming in from his linebacker spot. Host of others, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, there was a whole orange wave there waiting for G. They had that scouted very well.
So the punt team comes on. Justin wants to play field position here, looks like, and G will be the guy back to punt. So anytime he's back, he could be a fake.
Correct. He's got some wind to him, so we'll see what happens with his punt.
Persing back at the 10. He had a big return last time.
He did. And G's put 4 inside. Well, they are going to fake.
There it is, fake it. And they find Kavanaugh on the fake punt. And Kavanaugh's down to the 30.
Wow, you call that, Bobby. Hit that right on the head.
Yeah. Looks like a 19-yard gain on 4th down.
Well, let's see. We got a flag now, but it might be after the play. Let's see. It was a late flag, it looked like.
Well, it's 16th reception for Kavanaugh on the year. And he made a nice catch over the middle. He was open.
He did. Boy, Coach Van Fleet pulling out all the stops here. That one caught me by surprise. I got to be honest with you. But that gutsy call, and it appears to have paid off.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, 25 white. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Okay, well, Kevin's pointing white, or saying white and pointing to Danville, but it is onside Kavanaugh. But I believe it's a dead ball foul. So it should
here is this fake punt. So that's Kavanaugh.
Let's see what goes on here.
Cush finally made the tackle, but that will be after the play, I believe. So they retained the ball.
Probably they got him for a taunt there where he stood up and did the first down. And
can't do that. And there you saw the flag. So it's after the play, and Hill knew it. It will back them up to the 45, but it should be 1st and 10.
It should be. But here's one of those things, and I'm not excusing Cy or anybody else. They see it Saturdays, they see it Sundays, and, the high school game's different. You got to control yourself with that. Emotion's one thing, but you got to be intelligent about it.
I've seen the flag called on college football Saturdays, too, on that same play. You just play the game. Just get up, get to the other side. But it is 1st and 10, but they're back to the 45 after that.
So they got some yardage, but a fresh set of downs.
And that's a key.
Now, I don't think Danville had enough players on the field.
They did not, so they forced to call a timeout, second timeout of the game for Danville, 9:44 remaining. And here are the two coaches, and you know them. You know Justin very well. We talked about Mike Brennan, two of the best coaches in District 4 and the state, but two of the nicest guys, too.
Correct. And, again, they have it in perspective. They put the student-athlete first. They care about their kids, not only during the season, but in the off-season, they go above and beyond to help their kids after they leave the programs. And, can't ask for two better people to be leading the programs. But I did not know till tonight that Coach Van Fleet had some ties to the Scranton area, huh?
He does, the Van Fleets of the West Scranton area.
Invader territory.
Yep, he does.
So this is interesting. Sock's got Andrews stacked down here on towards the bottom of the screen. So we'll see if they run any kind of a rub pattern there.
G's going to keep it. Maybe should have gave it to Hill. And Johnny on the spot, Mason Rupp, 534 counting and tackles.
Just keep adding. That's at least the third time we've called his name tonight. And there's just some players, Bob, that they have a knack for the football. He could probably put him at defensive end, and he would do the same thing. So he's a football player.
He can play on Saturday somewhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
6 foot, 210-pound senior, and tough as nails as well. Both sides of the ball.
Let's see if they try to hit Glunk and or Jalen Andrews. G looking that way. Nowhere to go. Finally throws it out of bounds. Wise play from this junior. So we'll bring a 3rd and long now.
Yeah, it just seemed to me, I don't know if Loyalsock was on the same page with their patterns, because after the fake, G's looking downfield, but their receivers were just sort of jogging around. I think they weren't.
Maybe trying to set up a screen, maybe something.
Yeah, a little discombobulated.
Yeah. So 3rd and long now facing Loyalsock. Remember, they would have had the ball at the 20, but there was a taunting call that brought the ball back.
And something to keep an eye on. Danville's getting quite a bit of pressure. We'll see if Sock tries a screen here at some point.
Right now, 3-man front for Danville. They'll rush only 3, 8 guys in the secondary. And it's picked off. Picked off by Cade Cush, his first of the season. He's inside Loyalsock territory, down to the 45.
Yeah, Tyler, ill-advised throw. You get a look at it. I don't know if he expected a receiver to be in the middle of the field, but there wasn't one. He's just watching and looking and then throws it up, and Cush's right there. I don't believe there was a white jersey anywhere around.
So instead of putting pressure, they sent 8 guys back and played that.
The Loyalsock 44, 1st and 10, Ironman.
So from the Loyalsock 44, Danville within good field position already with a 6-point lead.
They have plenty of time left in the half, still over 8 minutes.
Inside reverse, Johnson with blockers. Almost ripped the ball, it's still on his feet. Johnson, good run inside the 25.
His wonderful run by Johnson. We talked about his diversity earlier on in the game. This is an awesome play. It's a takeoff of counter crisscross from the Delaware wing tee. People around here used to Southern Columbia run that, and they'll see why I'm missing run it next week, whoever wins this game. I'm pretty sure they'll win their game tonight against West Perry, and that's who the winner of this game will get.
We talked about Johnson's receiving, we talked about his runs, and there you saw. Perfect Storm Renovations first down. Gordon keeps. He had running room, and he has a nice gain of 9 inside the Allied Services red zone.
He was able to weave his way forward. And that's a good thing about him. Once he gets his pads turned, with almost all of these backs, they get north and south. They don't waste much time trying to dance around. And big first down play, gain of 9.
8th interception by G on that last throw. Big interception for Danville in that one. So you can do a lot here. You can run it, or maybe you try for the end zone. But you talk about that win, though. Stauffer has the first down and more. Stauffer's in.
I think it's going to come back, Bob. I think
And Coach has the eyes. I was just going to make the call.
I'm sorry to interrupt
I'm glad you're paying
it came up.
attention. I block, so I'm watching the monitor,
Well,
but there's a flag down on that.
They put Raup in lateral motion and had him kick out. And really what that is a choice play for
number
Stauffer.
21. 10-yard penalty. And down.
And there you saw it. Touchdown off the board.
So you can just see Raup coming in there. Now Stauffer can bounce that inside or outside. He made the right choice by taking it outside, obviously got into the end zone, but I don't even know if that, a lot of times it drives you crazy as a coach because those penalties with those blocks aren't needed. Somebody's trying to make a play that they don't have to make.
Well, the block was past the first down because it's just 2nd down and 4 after that, so it was downfield for the holding. Play action. Gordon looking to the end zone. Touchdown, Carson Persing, a Blaze Alexander score for the Ironmen.
Well, Bob, same pattern that they opened the scoring with. It's off of play action. This time, and again, somebody in the secondary is watching the backfield because Carson Persing was able to get leverage on the inside again, and there's nobody home for the Lancers. That's just an easy pitch and catch.
Loyalsock's got to shore up that offense. Extra point for Johnson. Missed the last one. Good hold. This one is through. You can see it. And
Extra point is good.
now a 20-7 lead in the District 4 3A championship for the Ironmen. So after the interception by Danville, they go 3 plays, 56-yard. Persing's second touchdown of the day and 59th in his career.
Yeah, I believe he just set a record or passed somebody. They said that he just
3rd in the state.
3rd in the state now. Boy, what a career for that young man. But again, Loyalsock's going to have to make some kind of an adjustment to get somebody in the middle of the field because this is twice that he's gotten leverage back there, and it's just an easy pitch and catch day.
There's the kick. Andrews from about his 16. He has a couple returns on the year for touchdowns. Good special teams by the Ironmen. Now Loyalsock trailing by 13 now, back on the field almost feel like they need to score.
Yeah, but no panic. There's still plenty of time left to go, 7:15 before halftime, and they've got their full complement of timeouts, and I believe they've got 2 timeouts left.
2, yep.
Sorry about that. But, yeah, I do think they need to do something, or at least move the ball a bit and get some kind of consistency offensively.
Hill has 1 touchdown, but so far there's not been much running room for Davion Hill.
Now, all Justin Kutcher from his defensive tackle spot, 6'2", 275, hard to move, but Danville's starting to establish some superiority at the line of scrimmage, I think, here, Bob, the last couple series.
And again, a point of emphasis in the offseason. That was the line of scrimmage. Justin Van Fleet perplexed now, trying to figure out what his team needs to do. Loss of 1 on that. Trying to hit a quick one, but G is there. But so is Kutcher again, 2 in a row for the junior.
Well, G had to do a double take because they wanted to get a quick screen out, but it was covered. I don't know if we'll be able to see it on the angle. See, he cocks to throw it. He wanted to hit Andrews with it, but it was played very well by Danville. He had to eat it, and hence the sack. So Loyalsock finds itself behind the sticks one more time.
Third and really long. Danville's defense wants to come up with a stop, maybe get another score before the half.
And they're rolled up on Glunk down here on the bottom of the screen.
4-man rush. Kavanaugh with the catch, and Kavanaugh is going to be short of a first down.
Yeah, big gain for Sock, but unfortunately they needed a whole lot to get the first down, so that's going to improve their field position.
There's a sack last time by Kutcher.
Yeah, and I think Justin thought about it for a second, but my opinion, wise decision here to punt.
I don't think you're faking this one. This is my opinion. Coach,
I would be surprised.
Here's the last play.
And he's going to see Kavanaugh crossing and a deep crosser there. Again, Cush had decent coverage, but G put that ball on the money. And Size had 2 big catches tonight, one on that fake punt.
Needed 18, only got 14. So G needs to get a better kick away than he did last time. Well, let's go again, Coach. Are we going to fake it? They are, or he's going to kick it. He kicks it, rugby style. And lucky for Loyalsock, it takes a Loyalsock Lancer bounce, and Hill's going to down it. I thought it was a fake again. I
was going to say to Bob,
but that's
you know something I don't.
Yeah, when the quarterback is the punter, that's a threat every time, though, right?
It is, but there's certain situations where it shouldn't be, and
that
was one of them. But boy, he rode that out as long as he could. I kept looking back down the field to see if there was anybody downfield, but it's obviously something Loyalsock must have practiced.
Now the Loyalsock defense, which was scorched last week for 42 points, needs to come up with a stop.
Yeah, I understand. Most of that was through the air, and that's where Danville's done their damage tonight.
With the wind in their face, they give it off to Stauffer for a minimal gain, about 4.
Just an off-tackle play.
On the carry. He'll pick up 4 on the play.
2nd down and 6 for this Ironman team. Perfect on the season, 11-0.
Stauffer just about 3,000 total yards in his career, 40 touchdowns. Again, headed to Army to play. So it's 2nd down. Back to number 5 of the Loyalsock defense is there. 3rd and about 4 coming up.
Yeah, well played by Gavin Rice, the senior middle linebacker. Did a nice job of scraping here. You can see it from the end zone right there. He forces the cutback, and the pursuit came and made the tackle early. But another big 3rd down for Danville. Certainly manageable by their standards. But Sock needs to make another stop as their offense has gone stale.
Johnson with the stop. We haven't called Hornberger's name a lot. 6'6", 305, a senior. Number 72 for Loyalsock. Let's see if he can make a play. Play action. They had the rush, overthrown, and
I think
Is
that's
it
intercepted. Yep. That's Davion Hill on the overthrow.
Hill from the secondary pulls it in. His 4th interception on the year.
And something you see Zach Gordon very rarely do. I don't think he should have thrown that one up, but credit that to Sock's defense. They had a lot of pressure on him, and he put the ball up, overthrew it.
I thought it bounced. It did not as you watched the replay.
Now he got it, and the Lancers are in business.
That's a big turnover.
It is, but
First of the night for the Ironmen.
But Coach Van Fleet said earlier on in our keys of the game, take advantage of an opportunity, and here it is.
So 1st and 10 inside Ironman territory. G looking downfield. Nope, Fines goes to his 2nd back, and that's Kavanaugh with a big catch.
Yeah, it's his 3rd big catch of the game. So I think we see, Danville can't take everybody away. So, they'll throw to Kavanaugh, and he'll catch it.
13-yard gain. Perfect Storm Renovations 1st down.
He came into tonight with 15 receptions for 176 yards. So sometimes when you have so many weapons, somebody's going to be left out. There's only so many cookies in the jar.
They just have to find the right weapon they want and the right cookie. Back to Hill, nowhere to go, and Danville's defense has really secured that middle of the field since that big run early on.
Yeah, Justin Kutcher's having himself an evening as he was there again.
No gain. 2nd and 10.
Loyalsock wants points here, Coach. You know that. They've got to get something going into the break.
And they need them as they've gone, as I said, they've gone stale here their last 2 or 3 possessions, but they're in great shape to do something.
After the interception. Back to Hill, stutter step. Still carrying Ironman. 2 yards short of a 1st down.
This is if you're playing for the touchdown here, Bob. You've got 2 downs. That's how you have to be thinking offensively. You've got 2 downs to make the 2 yards. We're at 2 minutes to go in the half. Time not a factor with 2 timeouts for Loyalsock.
They get the play from the sidelines. Give it to Hill. He's got a Perfect Storm Renovations 1st down. Inside the Allied Services red zone.
Another zone read. Good job by Tyler to give that ball. Clock will stop momentarily here. Now it starts back up. 140 and counting. 2 timeouts for the Lancers, so they shouldn't be in a big hurry.
Loyalsock will get the ball to begin the 3rd quarter. G keeps it this time. Rupp trumped him up, but G fell forward.
Yeah, we have a flag. Unfortunately, Bob, where I think we might get a sideline warning on Danville.
I believe there's a flag on the play.
Sideline warning.
Yep, it
Danville.
is. There's the G does a nice job running the ball. We talk about him throwing, but he's a threat.
Yeah, 582 rush yards.
2nd and 5
Excuse
for
me.
Loyalsock.
Yeah, 582 rush yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. So
1:15 left in the half.
he can do it all.
Back to Hill. He's got a little gap, and he falls forward inside the 5. 1st and goal, Loyalsock.
Another inside zone run here. You can see it.
Up the middle for a Loyalsock 1st down.
Good push by the offensive line and by Kavanaugh.
They come up quickly. Hill again. Rupp in there. Secures him. No gain on the play.
Actually, may have lost
They
a yard or so there.
I think you're right.
Great penetration by Danville's front. Now you've got a 2nd and goal. And now time might be a little bit of a factor as we're down to 40 seconds and counting.
They still have 2 timeouts left. Let's see if they don't call one after this play. You almost think you want to go to the air here. They got to hurry up. They're going to run it knowing they have a timeout. G can't get in there. Great stop in there on defense by Cameron Kirsch.
That was an inside blast play, and Danville blew it up in their interior. And watch right there, Davion gets smacked back, and that threw the play into a kilter. Now they're going to have to use one of those timeouts. And, Bob, there's only 21 seconds. Now you're kind of you're a little bit in no man's land. I think they took a little bit too long on the previous play.
Plays Alexander timeout. So down the road a bit is the District 4 AA championship, and at the half, Southern Columbia leads Mount Carmel 7-6.
Oh, I can only imagine the physicality in that game. You know, it's tough to beat a team twice, especially Southern's having what they would consider a down year.
But they do have Wes Barnes coming back. He had a big game last week in the playoffs. He's really made a difference. And, hey, you have to take the Tigers out. They are the 12-time champions, 5 in a row they've won.
Absolutely.
You know, it's tough. They're not going to go out easily.
No. And those kids know how to win. And believe me, I'm sure they've heard about it.
So you have one timeout left, Coach, from the 4. You running or passing?
Well, you can run here and get yourself a timeout if you don't get in the end zone, obviously. So you really have anything in your offensive repertoire at your disposal.
So it is 3rd down, though.
And now it's going to be 3rd down and longer.
Yep. Now you're almost forced to see what happens. We haven't called Jalen Andrews' name a lot at all tonight.
No. Nope.
And looks like
False start offense. 5-yard penalty.
Third down.
So after the penalty, all the way back to the 9, well, 8.5, call it.
So now do you throw to the end zone here? You're still in field goal range. Do you play for the field goal? Do you run 2 plays? So it'll be interesting to see what Justin's thinking is here.
Trying to put time on the clock now.
If you are going to kick, something to keep an eye on is the angle as to where you're at. You're all the way over on the left hash.
Well, you got to get points out of this.
Yeah. I mean, even if you do get a field goal, it's something, it's some momentum.
Because you have
do
the
get
turnover.
the ball to start the third quarter as well.
G going to roll, looking to the end zone, still looking, forces it, and it's almost intercepted.
Boy, he's looking for, I believe, Cy Kavanaugh again.
And Persing was right there and dropped it. He knows he had to pick one.
Yeah, there was more orange than white there, I believe, Bob. So I think the right move here is to maybe try a field goal, but I don't see the kicker coming on the field.
Again, you still have a timeout left. Here it is again.
Yep. You see, he's looking, and boy, there was a whole host of.
He's lucky.
Danville's there. Maybe it was Andrews. There were 2 sock receivers there.
Well,
it's 4th down. They're going for it.
4th and goal from the 8. They're going to go for it. G going to roll again to the right. Still going to the back of the end zone. Well overthrown, trying to hit Andrews. No flags, and Danville holds, and they'll take over on downs.
They did. They rolled right, and they tried to throw a flood pattern. They had 3 people in the corner, right side of the end zone. You'll see it here. There goes 1 in the flat. 2 and 3, they tried to throw to the deepest one, which was Jalen, but he was well covered. They had 2 people on him. So, Danville's done a good job. You mentioned earlier about not calling Jalen's name much. He may have 1 reception, if that.
Yeah, I'll go back and check my notes, but I think you're correct. And they tried to force it to him that time instead of maybe throwing something back or some trick play.
So it looks like we're going to go 20-7 at the half here, as I think Danville will take a knee, but who knows?
They did, Coach. They did. So it is halftime coming up in the Toyota halftime report. We'll check in on the Fox 56 News first at 10 and see what's coming up later on. Amanda Cool joined us with a special interview from Allied Services. And then Coach and I, after we get warm, we'll have stats and highlights from an entertaining first half. Number 2, Danville leads number 6, Loyalsock, 20-7 in the District 4 3A championship.
Welcome back to Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY. Amanda Cool here, joined by Caitlin Bailey from Allied Services. Caitlin, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Caitlin, can you tell me what your position is here at Allied and talk to me what your role is?
So my position currently is assistant administrator, and my role can vary every day. I wear many hats. It can go from the operations end of everything, or it can be a little bit more resident-centered, but each day is an adventure, that's for sure.
I know there's lots of locations at Allied. Which location are you at?
I'm at the Center City location. It's in the heart of Wilkes-Barre. It's right in the downtown. It's 80 East Northampton Street.
Caitlin, what services are provided at your Center City location?
So at Center City, we have a skilled nursing and rehab, and we also have independent living apartments.
Can you talk to me a little bit more about your skilled nursing program?
Absolutely. So skilled nursing is for somebody that needs a little bit of rehab in the therapy, or they might need some more clinical guidance, like if they have an IV antibiotic, or if they just need some rehab because they just had a knee replacement or a hip replacement. But we also have the long-term care too, so that if somebody isn't managing well at home, they can come and they can stay with us long-term.
And what about those independent living apartments that you have? Can you tell us more about those?
Absolutely. So the independent living apartments are one-bedroom apartments. They have a kitchen, a living room, a patio if it's on the first floor, and a bedroom. We provide 2 meals a day and all of the utilities, including the cable. And then there's the opportunity for if they need transportation. We also have a chapel on site. We have a beauty shop. The goal is just to make it a little bit more easy living for them as they age.
Is there any requirements for the people to get into that independent living program?
No, no requirements. If anyone's interested, they can just give me a call. They can come down for a tour. We can have a chat and we can go from there.
Awesome. Now, are you hiring on your team at the Center City location?
So we are hiring. Allied is always looking for individuals. No matter what your healthcare passion is, I guarantee Allied has a position that would fit you.
What are you looking for in somebody that you would want to join your team?
I just want somebody that wants to be a part of healthcare. You know, you could teach somebody to do anything, but you cannot teach somebody to have a passion. And that is basically just what we look for.
What do you love about being a part of the team here at Allied Services?
So I love that Allied embraces who I am as an individual, and that they have rewarded my ambition to grow within Allied, and they let me continue to take opportunities to fulfill my career.
What's the most rewarding thing for you when you go home at night, when you leave?
So the most rewarding thing about my job right now is that I get to advocate for my residents, I get to be a resource for my staff, and I get to be a support for the families. And I can't think of anything else more rewarding than that.
Can you talk to me a little bit more about that support for the families? I know it's so important.
Absolutely. So no one plans to go to a skilled nursing. It's usually in a crisis situation. So when they call me, they're usually not their best self. We can answer questions, we can provide emotional support, we can tell them the what's next step. But we have found that if the transition's a little bit smoother for the family, it's guaranteed to be a little bit smoother for the resident too.
Absolutely. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more football coming up with the kickoff from the second half.
Welcome back to a chilly Ironman Stadium in the District 4 3A Championship. Danville leads Loyalsock 20-7. Bob and Rich outside enjoying the game, but a little bit chilly. We got a little bit warm in the truck, right? Are you semi-warm?
Semi-warm. Yeah.
Semi-warm. Well, it's been a warm game. Both teams came out early on, Coach, and really took it in for touchdowns. But since then, it's been mostly the Ironman.
Hey, we started off back and forth, and then Sock's offense really stalled and got kind of stale, and Danville's taken over. And I think where they've taken over has been up front on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave Van Hill had that big 65-yard carry, but since then he hasn't done too much.
No, they've had G under pressure, and he's thrown a couple ill-advised passes. And you know, if you're Loyalsock at halftime in the locker room, I'm sure Justin wants to get some type of consistency offensively.
And how about Mike Brennan? He's got to be happy the way his offense has played to put up 20 points.
Absolutely, and nothing new for Danville, but I think he's got to be really pleased at the way they have done a good job of limiting Loyalsock's big plays.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at some first half highlights, mostly first quarter, because both teams, as I said, came out, and it started with finding Carson Persing with another touchdown for Danville.
And there's that post pattern. We said he got inside leverage on Glunk, and here's the fade pattern, outside shoulder fade. Jalen does a great job hauling that in. His only catch, I believe, of the half.
And then they came right back over the middle.
Correct, and there's a route down the seam. Again, inside leverage in Loyalsock's middle of the field was compromised. And here you're going to see a mirror pass, the same type of post pattern to Persing, who was able to get leverage on the inside once again and put another one in the end zone, and that's our scoring.
Yeah, just one PAT missed, and number 2 Danville and leads number 6 Loyalsock in our Friday night rivals countdown, but more importantly, it's a district championship. Danville trying to win 3 straight. Loyalsock trying to get their first district title since 2017. Second half coming up. Danville coming out, trying to get 3 straight in the District 4 championship. They lead by 13 over Loyalsock. And Coach, 7-6 at the half. Mount Carmel losing to Southern Columbia. We talked about that at halftime. Not unexpected, but you know, with West Barnes, as we talked, coming back, it's tough to take the Tigers out.
It is. You know, both of those teams are well coached, and you know they've scouted and re-scouted, and a lot of times when you get that rematch, it goes the opposite of the first time. So I don't think anybody would be surprised if Southern Columbia won the game, and I don't think anybody would be surprised if Mount Carmel won. 2 very good football teams.
And you mentioned Jersey Shore losing to Allentown Central Catholic, a bit of a shock.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that was going to be an easy give me for sure. Central Catholic coming in, I believe, with 5 losses. But you get to this time of the year, and anything can happen on any night.
In District 2, Crestwood is leading Valley View. Scranton Prep is losing to Newman Goretti. North Schuylkill out of District 11 losing at the half to Northwestern Lehigh. And Lakeland, our number 1 team, and our Friday night rivals, Countdown, losing 16-8 in the second quarter to Executive Education. Both teams back out on the field, but first, Coach, let's talk about a loss tonight in District 4 of the Montoursville coach.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mike Boughton has passed away from complications with cancer, and of course our condolences are out to his family and his players as we grieve that loss. He's a good man.
Yeah, absolutely. Tough loss in District 4 being remembered here tonight. So Loyalsock gets the ball. Let's talk about, what did you talk about at halftime if you're Coach Van Fleet, and what do you need to see from the Lancers on this first series?
Well, I think the first thing they have to do defensively is get something shored up where they've got somebody in the middle of the field to take away the leverage that they're losing on those passes. All 3 touchdowns, I mean, route on the seam, down the middle, 2 post patterns to Persing. They've got to get some kind of help in the middle of the field. And then immediately after that, I think they've got to find out a way to get Jalen Andrews involved in the football game offensively.
Yeah, as he talked about, Andrews, it's just 1 catch for 2 yards, but it was a touchdown. And they tried to look for him for a couple times, but great defense by the Ironmen. 14-6 now the score in Southern Columbia. And a bit of a snowstorm down there as well in Mount Carmel and the Silver Bowl.
Been there. Had a couple go-arounds with the Red Tornadoes. Always a great venue to play in. A couple go-arounds with the Tigers as well. Great venue there as well.
So here are some stats. The Ironmen have a 186, 181 edge in total yards, Coach. Zach Gordon's 3 for 6 for 91 yards. Carson Persing, we mentioned the 2 touchdowns at 61 yards. Loyalsock's Davian Hill, 15 carries for 102 yards.
And the majority of that was on that first carry that he had. His actual first couple carries were quite impressive, and then Danville's done a nice job corralling him.
They've also done, Danville's done a nice job on special teams, holding down these 2 guys right there. They're both threats to take it back.
Correct. And would not kick to either one of them.
Nope.
We do have to mention your great call on the fake punt.
Well, sometimes I get lucky. I don't know the call. It was just a guess. A 50-50 shot.
Well, it was well executed.
Well, I think Coach Van Fleet's just being aggressive, like he did at the end of the half. You take the 3, or you're aggressive going into the to get the score, and he wanted the score, and he didn't get it. So now his team trails by 13 instead of getting maybe 3 points on the board, because I think he knows they're going to need touchdowns. So let's see if they get a touchdown here. Andrews from the 21, trying to use his speed to get outside. The Ironmen do a nice job stringing him out, and Loyalsock will come back on the field with the ball just past the 30.
It seemed like Jalen ran 70 yards to get 20 there, but still not hideous field position to start the third quarter for the Lancers.
So Tyler G comes back out, has that 1 interception. And Danville's done a nice job, maybe even just rushing 3 and getting 8 back in coverage.
Danville still in their 2-high shell here, Bob, to start the third quarter.
Get it out to a playmaker, and they do. Andrews, big hit out of bounds by Johnston. He's going to be about 2 yards short, 8-yard gain.
And there you go, right off the bat. Here comes Jalen Andrews, and they get him involved in the game. First play. One of the things I was going to mention, it's irrelevant now, was to get him in motion, get him moving to make it harder for Danville to cover him. And a nice adjustment by Sock, and they've got a second and less than one here to start.
Easy call for Loyalsock. Get your playmakers the ball. Let them make plays. Here's one Hill. Tied up with a little bit of a push, and it's going to be a figure law for first down.
Davion Hill with the carry will be a first down.
The inside zone, they didn't need much. They got enough for the first down, so hopefully some consistency here if you're rooting for Loyalsock as Glunk comes off the field.
G keeps it. Rupp is right there on the backside.
And Danville defends that well. And I don't think G could have won whether he gave or pulled as he did, because there was nowhere to go. As we'll see it on the replay. Danville did a nice job there.
Yeah, how about Rupp just coming off that, shedding that block and going in? He had 14 tackles this year against Central Columbia, 2 for a loss. And his career high, 24 tackles against Shamokin last season. 24. Wow. Quick out to Ryan Glunk, and Glunk makes the catch, goes out of bounds in midfield.
And that's the play I believe Bob Loyalsock opened the game with and overthrew him. You see a little stop pattern here. Now the ball's in a catchable place. Ryan's shorthanded, and I'm sure that has to feel good for that young man in his senior season to get a catch.
Loyalsock just needs points and keep the Danville offense on the sidelines.
And they need to convert here as they've got a third down and about 4.
G puts his head down. He takes a big hit by Cush. No gain, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yep.
G's going to keep it, and he is stopped by number 12.
And that was a keep all the way, but Raup is there again, right there. 2 people, Cush, Raup, and then the cavalry got there in a big hurry, and I'm not saying anything. Well,
on the punt?
I'm not going to say the word. I think he should punt, but
yeah. You don't want to say fake? Rugby style, gets it away. Persing there, but gets out of the way, and Danville will take the ball at the 11.
Just died right there.
G's punt will stop on the 11 of
tomorrow is another nonstop all-day college football Saturday on Fox. That's where I'll be. Game 1 kickoff is at noon with number 4 unbeaten TCU taking on the Baylor Bears. Then the Hawkeyes of Iowa battle the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And the primetime game, number 7 USC, number 16 UCLA, the Battle of Los Angeles. Get your fill of college football all day tomorrow, only on Fox 56. Rich Salonis, Bob Ide, District 4 3A championship. Danville with the ball, back to Stauffer, and it's a little bit nice gain of 5 on first down.
There you go over the left side again for a nice gain on first down. Stauffer does a wonderful job of just getting a feel for where to run the football. Again, I believe that's a choice play where he could cut that up inside or take it to the outside, and he's done most of his damage tonight around the corner.
Danville, at the end of the year, some big games like at Huntington, they won 70-8, and Bellefonte 65-0, and surprisingly beat Berwick 35-0 out of District 2. Gordon weaving his way and falling forward. Will they give him the line to gain? It looks like they will. Looks like a figure law first down for the Ironmen.
And they're indicating that chains will move.
First down, Ironmen.
What do you want to do differently if you're Loyalsock on defense, as we're going to see the run again?
Well, again, it appears that they're attacking Loyalsock's right-hand side of their defense. So you can slant your defensive line, you can roll up, you can certainly run blitz. And if you're having a lot of issues, maybe give Danville's blockers some moving targets, cross your tackle in your end, etc. But But they've got to do something there because it's obvious that that's where they're attacking.
Stauffer off that same side. Gets tripped up, looked like by Kavanaugh coming
in. We may
in.
see a hold here, Bob.
And a flag down. Danville's had a couple of penalties tonight.
Orange, 52, holding. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Kevin McNamara with the call. Declan
Yeah,
Akins.
Yeah, 6'1", 265-pound senior.
We'll see it.
When you're that size and you hold, somebody's going to see it.
There you saw number 52. Looks like in there holding against Ethan French. So backs them up now to first and 20.
Well, Danville's been in this spot a couple times tonight, and they've converted. So, again, if you're Loyalsock here and you're a linebacker, or more importantly to secondary, don't pay any attention to the play action. You don't want to get caught flat-footed.
Loyalsock switching around, and they're going to give it to Stauffer.
He bends that play over to left-hand side, and I believe he was met there by Malachi Coleman.
And Sikora there on the tackle as well, the senior. 50 total tackles on the year, 9 for a loss for Carter Sikora.
And Coach Van Fleet will have 2 of his starting D linemen back next year.
Well, G's back, Andrews is back. You lose, Hill getting ready for basketball. We didn't even talk about that yet. That's probably his best sport. Gordon back out. Big hit. Persing makes the catch.
Wow, Jalen Andrews with an outstanding hit. They threw out in the flat, a deep out to Carson Persing, and Jalen Andrews got there in a hurry, and he got there in a bad mood. Watch this hit. Head up, perfect.
And
good job of Carson to hang on to that.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a big kid, but he plays physical.
Well, he's bigger than what you might think when you get on the field. He's 180, 185 pounds, 6'2", and he'll smack you.
Big play for the Loyalsock defense here. Need to get off the field. Gordon gonna go down the middle, and someone slipped, and no one was there. It goes incomplete, and Danville will punt.
Well, Persing was running a very deep cross, and he got tangled up with Davion. And they were looking to go deep, but that wasn't their best pattern of the night, and Loyalsock is held. Let's see what this punt does, because they're going to be punting into the wind. The wind has picked up again a little bit here to start the third quarter, and Danville's going to be punting into it.
Man, and they're going to be punting to Hill and Andrews. I'm surprised they haven't moved up a little bit.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
They're back a little far, a little deep.
Hill back to receive for Loyalsock.
Got a stoppage of play now.
Well, there's 11 on the field, I think, for Sock. And that's what I think he was going to call.
Wave it, yep.
He was going to call 12, but there were only 11.
Yeah, we're not.
Well, better safe than sorry.
Yep. So Hoffman will kick. Good kicker. Nice hanging one in the first half, but again, into the wind. And there you go. Andrews and Hill just moved up about 5 yards. Oh, almost blocked. It's high, end over end. And Loyalsock's going to get excellent field position inside Ironman territory. Let's see where they mark it off. He's still going. We're still going. How about to the 36? So a 15-yard punt.
And that, again, that could have been blocked very easily. I think Loyalsock held up on that, and it caused Hoffman to not be able to follow through on his normal kicking pattern.
If you're the Lancers, you have to score. I mean, you have this opportunity at the end of the half. You need to put any points up on the board.
Correct.
How many times do you get a gift and you can't take advantage?
Absolutely.
Well, let's see if the Danville defense can hold. Back to Hill. Makes a move. Another move. Davion Hill. Into the secondary and a big gain. First and goal.
Yeah, we're going to want to take a look at that one again. That was an awesome inside trap. Right guard trapping right to left. If we'll get a look at it or not, but that opened up.
34-yard
There
gain.
it is right there, and Davion Hill's going to take that almost to the house.
We're not going to see it all because they're going to come up quickly and give it back to Hill, and he is hit right at the line of scrimmage. Lincoln Deal, the sophomore, pops in.
May have lost one on the play, if not back to the line of
Followed with Kutcher.
for Davion Hill.
Nice play defensively for Danville, and Sock's got to get this in the end zone.
They lost a couple on that. They've tried that play several times on 1st and goal, and it just haven't worked. Let's see if they try to get to the outside.
Yeah, we'll see. Danville's leaving their middle of the field open.
They tried again, and they gave it to Hill, and nowhere to go.
He's pushed back. Let's see if Sock comes out and tries an RPO, and maybe hit somebody on a slant.
Gunnar Tribley, a senior in there. Under 6 to play in the 3rd quarter. Nobody scored yet in this half. With 7-7 real early on, less than 3 minutes into the game, we're like, this is going to be a wild one, but it slowed down a bit. The defense has been caught up, so big 3rd down here. They're going to roll G to the end zone, and it is incomplete.
They were looking for Alec Cup on the out pattern, but it didn't materialize. And now what do you do?
The Danville defense has held the last 2 series.
And see, if you try that field goal near the end of the half, now a field goal makes sense here as well, because now it only puts you down a touchdown. But I think you've got to go for the touchdown here.
Okay, another play inside the Allied Services red zone for Loyalsock, trailing by 13. G looking, gonna float one, and it is incomplete. Trying to hit Ryan Glunk. Great defense by Johnson.
Yeah, he was right there to break it up. And that's a big momentum turner here. I mean, Sox had a couple of gifts from Danville, a couple chances, real good field position to maybe change the scoreboard here, change the outcome of the game, and Danville stood the test of time with that defense.
Yeah, 2 of the last 3 series, Loyalsock had the ball inside the 5, and the Ironman defense held on 2 4th downs.
Sock's getting down there. He just can't take advantage of, as they get closer, Danville's defense is stiffening, and Sock hasn't had any red zone answers.
That defense came in just giving up 3 points per game. Gordon out, gets some running room, a nice gain, about 4.
You see so many of these high schools now, the game trickles down. They're running a lot of what the colleges are with the zone reads, and that was another one he chose to keep. And again, I hate to beat a dead horse, but over the left-hand side again for another nice-sized gain.
Now, if you're Danville, you just want to eat up clock here. You already have a 13-point lead, no turnovers. Nice long drive here will probably seal it. Looking for a 3-time state district playoff team and a figure law firm. First down and more for Zach Gordon.
Yeah, sure-footed. We get a look at this one. Watch his feet. He's got very quick feet. He made a nice move coming up right here. Sidesteps a tackle, and that may not seem like much, but it picks up an extra 8 yards.
12 on the play for Gordon. 2 straight runs from the senior quarterback.
And you hit the nail on the head earlier, Bob. Run clock, run the ball, change field position. You're already up by 13 points.
Back to Stauffer, but Ethan French says you're not going anywhere.
French, Sikora, they had a trio of Lancers waiting for him. That probably has been Sock's best defensive first down play in a long time.
So big tackle for loss. We didn't even talk about what Zach Gordon did against Danville, Loyalsock last time. 12 or 13, 169, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's pretty good in any game.
It is. But there's so many of those. I don't know. We could stay on the air till 12 o'clock, and we probably would miss somebody.
No, I think
there's
I'll freeze by then. I think I'll be frozen by then. Gordon going to throw it out. Back to Persing. He's got it. And he loses the ball, picks it up, and he'll be down. So a catch, a fumble, and a recovery all the way to Lancer 25-yard line.
And once again, we're going to watch the inside leverage on the post.
For Danville, first down.
Well, it was the same pattern for the third time that's hurt Loyalsock big time. Here we go.
53-yard gain, Coach.
53 yards. Watch, you see him looking, and there, nobody in the middle of the field. He beat Davion to the inside. He got leverage.
And you said today that Davion was going to be covering Carson. Right now, Carson's owned him in the secondary.
Yeah, there's no help to the inside, and he's taken advantage of it 3 times tonight in a big way.
So after holding them, the defense comes in. Finally called Gavin Rice's name, the senior, who came in with a lot of tackles.
He sidestepped the block, made a nice play, put Danville behind the sticks.
Ball spotted on the 30. 2nd and 15.
But, you know, it doesn't seem to bother Danville. It seems like the worse they are field position-wise, the bigger the play they have. The Persing is, 3 times tonight. Big plays.
Rice, 97 total tackles coming in. Really hasn't called his name all night long. Or Hornberger, too, 305-pounder at the nose tackle. Defensive tackle, haven't called him at all.
Well, again, remember, Danville's going off tackle to the left. They're going outside to avoid those people, and there's a reason why.
And it's working. Play action. Put it up for Rupp. He comes back to make the catch. G couldn't get him. Sheds a tackle, and it's a Blaze Alexander Danville touchdown.
It is, and we'll get a look at that. You're going to see a classic back shoulder throw here along the left-hand sideline. Mason comes back to catch the ball. Mason heard him catching the ball the first time. I believe that's his second big catch of the night, this one for a touchdown. Maybe his second touchdown catch. Seam pass, did that go for a touchdown or not? I think it did in the first half.
That's his second touchdown.
So that's his second touchdown
so
tonight.
Persing has 2, Rupp has 2. That's his 4th of the season. I have a 6-play, 97-yard drive, Coach, if my notes are correct. And the big play, 53 yards to Persing, 30 yards to Rupp, and this one may be in the book for Danville.
Yeah, just like that, Danville's got themselves a 3-score game here, and again, a classic back shoulder throw, and he just did it. You can tell that's practice. You don't just do that. They worked on that, and we can't say enough about the way Danville's executed tonight on their big plays. They've taken advantage of the big plays. They've made them, and Loyalsock hasn't. Those are just the facts of the game, and while there is another quarter of football left and some change, Sock's got its work cut out for him now.
Some happy people in the Danville student section. It's our Dr. Todd Smile Cam. And there they go, their team leading, looking for 3 in a row and headed maybe to the state playoffs one more time. I like the costumes. I like the tie. They're bundled up and enjoying a good football game for their team here at Danville.
Yeah, and bundled up for them. I was going to say, youth. They got a sweatshirt on and a hat, and that's it. And they don't feel anything, We're up here with layers. And
many layers.
Although it hasn't been too bad up here. I was getting kind of sketchy when the snow squall hit, but you hit that one on the head as well. You said, relax, it's going to be out of here. And it wasn't. Field's still remaining in great shape. We haven't seen, I don't think anybody really slip. Maybe one person or so, but great facility, beautiful facility here in Danville.
So Hoffman tees it up. I would not kick it to Hill or Andrews back there. I think it's just Andrews I see this time. And they're going to squib kick it. And it's picked up. And Loyalsock will have the ball just past the 30. Now, let's recap the last time these two teams met. Loyalsock outgained Danville. I don't think that's happening tonight. But Loyalsock has had their chances tonight.
They have.
Inside the 5 twice and couldn't score.
Yeah, Danville only mustered 206 total yards the first time they played. And, man, they were close to that maybe in the first half tonight with their big plays. So big plays have been the theme of the game for the Ironmen.
Well, they're past that mark now. They're near 300 total yards tonight are the Danville Ironmen. And now G comes back on. His team trailing in this one, now by 20. And you kind of wonder if they had kicked that field goal before the half, how things might have changed. G going to nail it, put it up. It was tipped and caught by Andrews. The old tip drill goes for a big gain for the Lancers all the way down to the 37-yard line.
Okay, more chunk yardage for the junior receiver. But really, in all honesty here, G's running for his life. He was able to get the corner and buy some time and threw it up. And just over the outstretched hand of Corson Persing, I believe.
So 30-yard gain.
And we just got the announcement, 28-6. Southern Columbia now looks like it's going to end the Red Tornadoes' perfect season.
Hill back in, gain of 4. Danville there again. You know, just 4 yards here and 4 yards there. That's it about for Hill.
And that's exactly what you want right now with the clock being in your favor. We're under a minute in the third quarter. If Loyalsock is going to score, if you're Danville, you want to make a march to football and chew clock to do it.
G to the end zone, trying to hit Glunk. He makes the catch. Did he get the pylon? He did. It's a Blaze Alexander touchdown, 33 yards. They're Ryan Glunk. What a catch down there in double coverage.
Exactly, and there's the All-Stater, last year's form, returning and playing in his first game since the second week of the season. You can see why he's an All-State player. Check this one out, Bob. Double coverage, as you said, right down the left sideline. Perfect ball placement from G, and Glunk doesn't disappoint. And just like that,
they're back in the game.
They're back in the game.
Extra point is blocked. No good.
So Ralph was in there to block
touchdown. Yep, 2-touchdown lead now for Danville. 38 seconds left in the third. And Loyalsock's not out of it. Here's this catch again.
Yeah, look at great angle by the camera crew. Look at that, gets the air under it. Perfect placement where only he's going to get it. Safety coming over a little bit late. And we got a touchdown for the Lancers.
Duffy beat on the play, and Ryan Glunk adds another touchdown in his career. He's a senior, going to go out looking for a district champion, and that's his 14th touchdown of his career.
You know, we're up here reading numbers and 1,000 yards this and 1,000 yards receiving for that. I hope people appreciate the sheer athletic ability of these kids, that they're out here performing tonight, and then a lot of them are going to go do the same thing in the winter on the basketball court. And
in just weeks, or right. Wrestling room, right?
And what a privilege it is to get to see these young adults, put forth the effort that they have, and the ability that they have is just amazes me.
3-play, 67-yard drive in for a touchdown, and Cooley going to tee it up. I don't think Danville's moving up for a onside kick. Maybe he might pooch it though.
The way you've called the kicking game tonight.
I'm just seeing what I see. I'm just calling what's on the field, Coach. And I think if anything, you're going to maybe pooch it high and see what happens.
Well, they've got somewhat of the wind now that's changed. Once again, it's died down, but it is at their back.
I've seen enough games through my years as you have. And they're going to just squib it. Persing from his 13.
Yeah.
Good return up to the 35. And we have a flag down, a little pushing and shoving by both
this
couple
one
players.
Might be on Mr. Cush from Danville for a little bit of extracurricular activities. But can I ask you a question? How can you go up in the air somewhat backwards and move 5 yards forward? Because we get a look at that kickoff return. I think that's what Persing
Carson
did.
Yeah. He did go up. He went 5?
Forward.
Forward.
But he was leaning backward a little bit when he first went up. So
ball foul, personal foul, orange, dead ball foul, personal foul, white.
Oh,
penalties
so offsetter.
So we're going to go the old offsetting. I haven't seen that in a while.
That's
and
it.
Here is the replay. Now watch.
Maybe I'm wrong.
We'll slow it down when he's in the air. Good job, Ernie. Oop. Yeah, it was a little jump. Look at a hop.
He came back down. I didn't see the
yeah.
come back down part. So
you thought he was flying like Peter Pan or something? Like
yeah. Listen, this young man is capable of
He
many
probably
things.
does fly. It's like Superman out there. So Danville has the ball now at the 30, our own 35. It's a little stutter step from the quarterback, and it's going to be a nice gain. Figure law firm first down, right near midfield. It's going to be about 14 yards.
And
for
one
Gordon.
of the few times tonight, Danville runs to their right. And you hit that one right on the head again. Wonderful stutter step, just enough to keep the Sock defender off balance, and he was able to get a couple more yards on Tyler G just by that stutter.
So 23 ticks remaining in the third. Loyalsock trailing by 14. They had many chances tonight. The flag comes in as Stauffer has a nice game, but I think this one is coming back.
Correct, I agree.
Far side line judge called this one. So I don't want to say momentum shift, but things have kind of slowed down a little bit now. You feel that for this game?
Yep. You know what? Every time we seem to say that, there's a 60-yard play. So at the moment, yes.
Illegal shift offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So back up Danville 5.
So theoretically, 1st and 15 now means that we should get ready for a 60-yard pass play.
Yeah, if you're reading this game, if you've been watching this game all night long, it's been a 1st and long, 3rd and long, and touchdown.
Might be a good screen down here for Danville, because Loyalsock has had pressure as of late, but I don't think we're going to see a snap. We're going to let the third quarter run out.
There is Mike Brennan. And that will do it. 3 quarters in the book. One more to go for Danville to win a 3 district titles in a row. We'll be right back for the 4th. We are back in a chilly Ironman Stadium. Danville leading by 14 in the District 4 3A championship game. Bye-bye. Rich Alonis here, former South Williamsport coach. Watching a good one here. And Loyalsock just doing enough to stay in the game. Another flag comes in. And things have, we talked about, slowed down a lot of flags in the past few minutes.
Aaron may have turned up a little bit too soon, or maybe
False
some
start.
movement.
Orange 34, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, what this does, I really think it helps Loyalsock. Doesn't it, Coach? I mean, back them up, they want the ball back.
Yeah, theoretically it should, but you know, the long yardage hasn't bothered Danville tonight. They've been able to make big plays a couple of times. I'm almost positive they were behind the sticks quite a bit. And we see Glunk in at a corner now for the Lancers. He'll be matched up with Aaron Johnson. And again, if you take a quick look, nobody in the middle of the field.
Safety. Yep. They're trying to set the clock. So as of right now, we have man-to-man coverage on the outside with Johnson. No safeties. Safeties, G is near the line of scrimmage, trying to go against the run. So I'm sure the coaches see that.
Which kind of surprises me with the down and distance. There's an awful lot of real estate to the inside of the field.
Back to Stauffer. Tripped up.
A nice play by
Kavanaugh.
Blake Phillips.
Looked like Kavanaugh, too.
He'll pick up 3 across the 40 to the 41.
You see him going right there. There's Phillips. And Glunk sticking his face in there.
Let's see if Danville now wants to go to the air. Last week, as Gordon had 293 yards against Athens, 3 touchdowns. They're going to fake it. They are going to look to the outside.
And you got
Cameron Kirsch with the catch.
In the flat, and this is where they hurt Loyalsock in the second half in their initial meeting of the year with the flat area. Loyalsock's had a hard time defending that this year, and they're just right there wide open. Some good blocking downfield. So there they were behind the sticks again, and there's a 14-yard gain.
Yeah, 3rd and 3 now. So very manageable for the Iron. If anything, they flipped the field.
Yes.
And pin Loyalsock back. make them go the length. But they want to get a first down, does Mike Brennan.
Well, they're within 5. They may have to call a timeout.
Yeah,
they might get hit with a delay of game here, and Mike does burn the timeout right before the flag comes out. Because now for those watching at home, the 25-second clocks are down. So what you have to look at is the back judge of the official will put his hand up in the air when there's 5 seconds or less remaining so the quarterback can see that. But smart move by Mike to get that timeout because you've got a very manageable third down. And
see a lot of zeros there, Coach, and an 8
yep.
for Danville's schedule this year. I mean, pretty much haven't been tested. Coming in, I think the teams are 26-35 overall. That was the record of their opponents this year. Loyalsock definitely had the tougher schedule.
Right, and you look at that and say, they didn't play anybody. But you're not looking at 10-0, 7-0, 7-6.
Yeah.
I mean, 58, 52. I mean, they scored 70 basically twice. So they were doing what they had to do against some teams that obviously had inferior talent. So,
but I think you got to be what we don't talk about, and I talked to both coaches yesterday about this. We didn't talk about their defense. The offense is right there. You can see what they're doing, but both defenses have played well all year, and Danville's especially.
They have. Danville's maintained it. Loyalsock, again, a little bit disturbing last week to give up that many points to a good Mifflinburg team, but honestly not one that should have scored that many points.
Okay, now Loyalsock's defense needs to come up big. They need to stop Danville here and get the ball back. Let's see if they pressure. There's a lot of movement, and that one's, I think, going to go against Danville.
Yeah, no one was set.
Yep.
Loyalsock was moving. Danville they were all moving.
As a coach, it must drive you nuts after a timeout to get a penalty.
It does, because you have to take that timeout to avoid the penalty that you just got. So, yes, it does.
So that's some big penalties here in the late third and fourth quarter against Danville. Let's see if it costs them, though. It hasn't.
Well, time not really an issue yet, as Loyalsock's got all 3 of their timeouts. But a couple first downs here, and then it starts to become an issue.
Absolutely.
So it is a big play.
There you see 3rd and 8. Danville's done pretty well tonight on 3rd down. Gordon gonna strike one over the middle, and it's caught by Persing.
And it is. He did a nice job.
They're gonna give it to him. Gain of almost 10, and it is a figure law first down.
I believe you're gonna see this here, Bob. This was definitely a catch. Yep. And you know what? There's a seasoned receiver right there. He knew exactly where he had to go to get the first down and got just what he needed. And now, if you're Danville and you play the cards right here, you can run maybe another minute and a half off the game clock, and on top of it, you're already in Loyalsock territory.
Let's talk about Zach Gordon while this play goes on. I mean, it was going to be a 2-quarterback system for the Ironmen with Maiden Patrick, who had a great year last year when Gordon went down. But really, Zach has surged ahead, and Coach has gained confidence in him enough. He's been playing the whole year.
And he's done a tremendous job. As we talked about, look at his numbers. 2 interceptions coming into tonight's game. And anytime you can go through 11 games and throw 2 interceptions, as a coach, you like that. You like that.
He's 15-1 as a starter. I mean, not bad.
And you like
Zach
that
Gordon
as well.
Yeah. So 2nd down now, facing the Ironmen, but the clock is running, under 10 in the game.
See, you hear a lot of people talk about game managers, and some people think that's a bad thing, and it isn't. You got a steady hand, a reliable young man at quarterback that doesn't make very many mistakes, and you'll take that as a coach. And there's
Gordon
a great
to Johnson, and Rupp pulls it in.
And there's a great example there because he wanted to go, he gave a little hitch, and he wanted to throw a hitch and go down the left sideline. You'll see it here. It's not there. Sock defended it, but now he just buys time. He's very calm, makes the short throw, and gets something out of nothing.
And big hit by Andrews in 3rd and long now, facing Danville. So
and believe me, there aren't a lot of quarterbacks that do that.
Gordon's thrown 4 scores tonight, looking for another. finds Johnson, makes a move, puts his shoulder down, and he's in for a Blaze Alexander Danville touchdown. 37 yards for Aaron Johnson.
Well-designed play by the Ironman. I don't know if we'll get a look at it here, but you're going to see Persine run a wheel. He's going to wheel and turn back to the outside, but they're going to bring Aaron Johnson all the way across the field. There you see him crossing right there, and he's got some nice leverage and uses his athletic ability to take the ball into the end zone. Another player that we didn't mention right on the offset of the game, but has done everything on both sides of the ball for Danville this year.
So even with the penalties, they go 5 plays, 65 yards. They extend their lead with 8:22 left in the game. Danville's on the way to another district title. So the lead is 34-13 now, Danville over Loyalsock. And the Ironmen going to tee it up. And boy, what Loyalsock didn't want to happen, they couldn't stop that 3rd and long. They had been 3rd and 18, or 1st and 18, I guess it was, a couple penalties. But Loyalsock just couldn't stop them. Give Danville credit. Zach Gordon, 5 touchdowns tonight through the air.
He's done an outstanding job operating the offense. And well-designed play by Danville as they ran off and drug Aaron all the way across the field. And, of course, Gordon put it right on the money, as he has most of the evening and most of the season.
Great kick by Hoffman. The 2022 FIFA Men's World Cup kicks off Monday with a doubleheader. At 10 a.m., get set with World Cup today. Then Game 1 is Senegal versus Netherlands. Game 2 is USA against Wales, starting at 2 p.m. Watch the entire FIFA Men's World Cup only on Fox 56. So back to American football, high school style here at Ironman Stadium, bob-eyed. Rich Salonis, former South Williamsport head coach, joining me on a chilly evening. And big hit.
There's Cushion there, I believe. He came on a delayed blitz.
Another sack, second or third of the game for Danville. Now they're feeling it now, are the Ironmen.
They are, and you see him come clean there. Again, another well-designed schematic blitz by Danville. They're well coached. That's obvious.
Defense played very good tonight for the Ironmen. Just 13 points given up to an offense that came in averaging almost 37 points per game, 39, excuse me. And G trying to set up a screen is rushed, goes incomplete.
Yeah, he was under heavy pressure. Danville wanted intentional grounding, but Davion Hill was in the vicinity, and they're not going to get it. But now, to make matters worse, if you're Loyalsock, 34-13, 7:43 left. The running game has been eliminated. So now if you're Danville, you pin your ears back, play back deep, keep everything in front of you, and look for massive amounts of pressure on Tyler.
The Ironman gave up some yardage to Hill, but for the most part, he has been held in check. G going to go out to Glunk, and Glunk can't pull it in. It falls incomplete. And now it'll be 4th down and long.
And I think Tyler wanted a little bit more on that pass, but he couldn't get it. You're going to see pressure in his face right there, and that affects not only the amount of pressure you can put on the ball, I should say, how far you're going to throw it, but it affects the trajectory.
Yeah, Lincoln Deal, even at 5'9", had his hand up there. And the punt team is on for the Lancers, down by 21. No fakes here, I think. Deep next to your end zone.
Sock running a player on a little bit late.
Went off the side of his foot. Takes a Lancer bounce inside Danville territory, down by Hill, about the 46. So it looks like Southern Columbia is going to hang on to beat Mount Carmel. They lead in the fourth, 34-18.
Yeah, getting healthy at the right time. Again, all kinds of tradition in that program.
And Jersey Shore and Allentown Central tied at 31, Coach, in the fourth.
That might surprise some people. You know, ACC, I believe, coming in tonight's game with 5 losses. But again, you got to check their competition. They're playing some pretty good teams in the Allentown area.
And our number 1 team in Friday Night Rivals, Lakeland, might lose their first game and then be eliminated from state playoffs. They're losing to Executive Education 30-15 in the fourth. And that's a big loss for the Chiefs, who had high expectations this year, making it to the state finals. The Stauffer inside Lancer territory, and now I think it's just a matter of running out the clock if you're at Danville.
Yes, you're going to see a down play here, the derivative of a wing T play. They pull the onside guard and kick out again to their left, and a nice gain on first down. And like you said, now what you want to do, if you're Zach, you want to watch the back judge. You want to make sure the hand's up in the air, snap the ball with 5 or less seconds on the 25-second clock. Even though they're not working, you use the official as the clock, and you want to milk as much time as you can.
Gordon, the keeper, and knocked down by number 40, Phillips, the sophomore. Third down now on the way.
Going to make it 3rd and 4 for the Ironmen.
And I think it's safe to say that Danville's controlled the game on the line of scrimmage tonight.
I think that was the difference. So I was just going to ask you what the difference was, and I think the line of scrimmage by Danville has been the difference. And congratulations to Crestwood, the District 2 4A champs. They beat Valley View 12-7.
They've got a fine football team.
Yep. They run that single wing, which could be tough in the state playoffs if you don't see it all the time. Stauffer, good hole as a Bigelow first down.
Well, he's so quick. His feet are so quick. You're going to see him. Just watch his feet. Boom. Boom. Cut back again. Again, it doesn't look like much, but it's an extra 3 or 4 yards. And eventually what happens is he breaks that, and it turns into 50 yards.
Last year, Newman Goretti came in and shut out Danville 28-0 in the first round of the state playoffs. This year, doesn't get any easier for the Ironmen. They're probably going to face Wyomissing, one of the best on the East. And I guess my question to you is, can Danville, pull, I don't want to say an upset, but get that big win over a perennial power?
I think they can. I think Danville's stout where they need to be.
Look, Stauffer breaks it open. Bigelow first down, and he gets out of bounds. And, they have so many weapons. But can they stop that wing T, I guess the question is, right?
Well, you're talking about a team here that's given up on an average of a little bit more now than 3 points a game over the course of a season. Wyomissing, unless they have changed something, is going to be one-dimensional. They'll throw a waggle every now and then, but if they can run the ball, they'll run the ball all week.
Well, and they have a big line. Well, they have a lineman, and they have a decent line. So, what was the offseason challenge for this team? As a timeout's called on the field.
Well,
an off-season challenge up front is what's going to carry them the rest of the way.
Well, your nose tackle in a 3-4 is generally somebody who isn't particularly huge, but can move and play a gap and slide and slant. Lincoln Deal's 190 pounds, but Gunnar Trabley 270 pounds, and Justin Kutcher 275. I think physically they can match up with Wyomissing.
And I think they definitely have the speed.
Yes.
With Persing and Gordon and Stauffer and Johnson, too.
And the other question is, on the other side, can Wyomissing match up with the firepower that Danville has? Because it should be in a District 4 site. I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere on turf, and that'll be a real interesting matchup. Again, assuming Wyomissing is going to win, and I think everybody thinks they should, but you never know. It's high school football. But there's something special. There's just something about this team when you watch them. They've got all the ingredients.
Well, if Lakeland does lose, I pretty much guarantee that our new Friday Night Rivals' #1 team in our top 10 will be this Danville team. As Stauffer breaks it over, he wants to get in on it. He does. It's a Blakes Alexander touchdown, and this route is on.
It is, and you're going to see a wonderful trap up front by that offensive line that we've talked about dominating the game on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and hopefully we get a chance to see that trap play coming up again. And here we go right there. And a smooth sailing to the end zone once he breaks the initial line of scrimmage.
Was that Joe Shipe?
It was Shipe.
With a nice block. I mean, they're not big up front as you look at them, but I mean, they have a couple guards. But you don't like big guards when you want them pulling, right? Not in this high school level, I noticed.
You know, you like size, but you know what you like better? You like toughness, tenacity, and you like good football players.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, these kids are that. They're well coached. And you can just see just the way they execute their offense. I mean, very few big mistakes. You don't see defenders running free a lot. So pretty impressive football team, and there's a reason they're undefeated, Bob.
They will move to 12-0 on the year. And, you know, a lot of respect for the Lancers. They held in there all year long. They're going to end the year 11-2 overall. And we'll say goodbye to Davion Hill. And, boy, what a special athlete he has. And, boy, if you want to watch him play basketball, you're going to get a chance with St. John Newman.
Correct.
He's going to be a pretty good player for the Knights.
Hey, All-State on the hardwood. I'm sure it'll be All-State football. So, you know, again, a plethora of talent all over the place on both sides of the field. And unfortunately, when you get into playoff situations, somebody's got to go home.
Yep.
And certainly Loyalsock has absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. They've had a fantastic year.
They just ran into a better team tonight.
And there's no shame in losing to a better team. It's not like they've come out and played horrendous football, but they've just run into a team that's got a little bit more tonight.
So Hoffman will tee it up one more time. And 5:05 remaining in this game after the Stauffer 22-yard score. It's 20-7 at the half, Danville. They've extended that. Glunk with a little pitch to Andrews, and Andrews is met by a host of orange jerseys just past the 21-yard line. So we'll take a week off, and then we will have one more high school football game for you at Friday Night Rivals to be determined Friday, December 2nd or Saturday, December 3rd, depending on who's left. It'll be a state semifinal, so a lot of anticipation there. And then, hey, we'll take a little holiday break, and we'll have some high school basketball here on MyTV WQNY. Stay tuned. The schedule is forthcoming, I promise. I promise. So it's hard to believe. I mean, these seasons just go by so fast, don't they?
They do.
I feel like we're just starting the year back in August, and it's already mid-November. And you just wonder where it goes, right?
Yeah, especially the older you get a little bit. But it was just like yesterday that you know, our first game that I did this year was Montgomery and Hughesville, and then I remember seeing you at the first Danville Sock game. It seemed like everybody in the state was there that night, and now we're bundled up here getting ready for winter. So,
well, you had Canton. Let's talk about District 4. They're going to be represented. How about Canton? Do they have a chance to get to the state finals?
They really do. A smaller version of Danville. Lots of seniors. I was waiting to see if they call that.
Cameron Kirsch with a big hit on Hill.
A lot of seniors, kids that have played together, and if you haven't seen them, they run a combination of power football, wing tee, and single wing. They run the spinner series, so they are tough to prepare for. They played Jersey Shore, extremely tough, and they're a small single-A school. So the answer, talking a lot here, is yes. I think they've got a real good shot. It's a simple answer,
yes. I mean, I give both teams a lot of credit, Canton and Jersey Shore, for playing one another. Jersey Shore didn't have to play that game against a single-A team.
Nope.
I mean, they didn't have to. Caught by Kavanaugh, and it will be a figure-law first down.
And the thing with Canton is their kids will show up and they'll put, it doesn't matter to them. You know, the Green Bay Packers could be coming in. They're going to show up and play hard. They're tough kids.
Well, they might be able to beat Green Bay this year.
Some may say that.
So under 4 and counting. 38-point lead. It really exploded here in the fourth. Danville's put a couple scores up, and Loyalsock's had their opportunities in this game. Hill with another run. Still on his feet. Figure law first down past the 40.
And I think something that'll haunt Coach Van Fleet tonight for a couple days will be just what you said, the chances that they had at the end of the first half, beginning of the third quarter. Great field position down in the red zone and just couldn't convert.
Nope, couldn't punch it in. Couldn't punch it in.
And sometimes in games like this, that's the difference.
G rolling. And out of the reach. It looked like Andrews over there. And Danville's done a nice job covering him tonight.
That's going to be incomplete. Second down.
Yeah, and Danville's got their ears pinned back now. They're just playing pass every down, and that's why you see Tyler running around quite a bit.
Loyalsock will have some playmakers coming back, including the quarterback and Andrews. Patterson in there, too. Up front, they're going to lose a bunch. We talked about a couple big freshmen in there and juniors. The Loyalsock will be right in the mix again in 2023, and G just trying to hit anyone. Hill's there.
G's pass complete to Hill.
He bought some time as much
yeah.
as he could before he dumped it off to Davion.
Persing there.
You'll see you'll see Kirsch coming on a backside blitz there. You can see right at the end, you'll see 34, which flushed him out of the pocket.
Another great job by our camera crew tonight. All over with the shots, and being out in this cold is not easy. And I think the good news about the cold is the winds died down.
It did.
And that's really helped a little bit. I'm not saying it's not cold. It is. So G back. Pressure off his back foot. Finds the receiver. It's Andrews. He breaks a tackle. Jalen going the wrong way. And finally gets out of bounds. Gain of 9.
He ran backwards. Obviously, the young man's trying to make something happen here. But just to make that catch alone, if you watch it here, you'll see him go climb the ladder right there to pull that down. But watch Danville rally to the football. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 jerseys right there. And they're up 41-13. So people wonder why they have the defense they do. That's what good defenses do, amongst other things. But they run to the football.
On second down. And he's hit from behind. No one to throw the ball to.
Cush comes again.
Sacked by Cush.
Take G down for a loss of 5.
If you're a defensive lineman or linebacker and you're blitzing here, this is a field day. This is field day time for you. There he comes from the backside because you know the running game's out of play.
So third down now as we get to the bottom of this District 4 AAA championship game. 3 in a row now for the Ironmen in District 4, and they really have a program here that can win almost every year. G chasing it, being chased again. Time coming off, under 2 to play. G still with the ball. Throws it down, and guess who makes the catch? Davion Hill. I think he had the ball for at least 10 seconds in the backfield, Coach. And finally found Davion Hill at a flag down. This may be illegal man downfield.
It could, because he had the ball for 8 hours. Or now, remind me of Kyler Murray earlier in the season for the Cardinals.
Complete the pass. I believe that's an illegal man downfield.
So Hill with the big gain. Trying to figure out the downs, I think. 1:45 left in this game. Rich has gone down to the field. He'll be conducting our post-game interviews for our players of the game. Zach Gordon with 5 touchdowns through the air tonight. Persing with 2 through the air. And again, Danville will win their 3rd straight District 4 AAA title. Pretty convincing fashion here. It was close throughout. The Ironmen have pulled ahead here late in the game. G going to throw it up long, trying to hit Ryan Glunk, and intercepted, one-handed grab by Carson Persing. That is an exclamation point that Danville wanted. Flag down, though, back at the line of scrimmage. Boy, but what a catch by Persing down there, one-handed. And it's going to be a roughing the passer call, so this one interception will go for naught. But what a great athletic move by Carson Persing.
Hey, just keep the game going at this point, Raz. Penalty's going to negate the interception.
So Loyalsock will retain possession. Trailing in this one. And they're going to try to figure out where the ball's going to go.
Sir, number 2.
So a happy bunch of students on this sideline. Southern Columbia has beaten Mount Carmel 48-18. So another District 4 AA championship for the Tigers. 5 in a row. Kavanaugh makes the catch. About 8-yard gain. 120 and counting here in the District 4 AAA championship. So the Tigers on their way to possibly another state final appearance, and Danville hoping for the same here for another District 4 team. State playoffs will continue next weekend and some games tomorrow. Canton is actually off this week. They get a bye, which is very unusual. G connects with Glunk. Again, Glunk only 2 games this year, was out most of the year, and happy to see him back. And at least he gets to play in his last game here as a senior. Did have a touchdown. Did Ryan Glunk. Loyalsock 2 will get ready for their basketball season. Basketball practice starts today. Glunk over the middle. Kavanaugh makes the catch. It's a figure law first down at the 10 and first to goal for Loyalsock inside the Allied Services red zone. 40 seconds. Clock stopped while they move the chains. And there they're going to roll it. So it's first and goal. They don't have to set the chains on first and goal. So let's see if Loyalsock can put a score up anyway. Make it a little bit closer. G being chased again. G looking. Throws it up to the end zone. And it falls incomplete. Clock stops, 12 seconds left. Trying to hit Glunk in there. Glunk at 6'2", a little bit of size, so does Jalen Andrews at 6'2". Well, this one will go down as a championship for Danville. On a cold, chilly night in Montour County. be one or two more plays left in this one. Little fade. And some flags. Why not? We're going to hold this game up. And celebration is going to have to be slowed up a little bit. 8 seconds left. So some of the fans clearing out a little bit. Trying to get to their cars, get warm. And I see coaches on. Someone's injured. There is a Loyalsock injury. Really only one or two all night. Just one person down all night, which is pretty good. So Danville hopefully gets out of this game healthy as they play into the state playoffs next week, most likely against Wyomissing out of District 3. Can't see a number of who's banged up there for Loyalsock. It looks like it might be Ethan French, number 53, being helped off, and it is 5'10" junior. Again, Rich down on the field. Going to grab our players of the game, maybe coach, for the District 4 AAA champion, Danville Ironman.
Dead ball foul against Loyalsock.
So dead ball foul, 2, going against Loyalsock. Justin Van Fleet is still on the field. Surprisingly, I don't know. I didn't think he's just telling them to roll the clock out. Nope. Probably telling his team, just be good sportsmen.
It'll be first and 10 with 8 seconds to play.
I think there was an unsportsmanlike. They're going to make a call here. Can't hear the referee. Unsportsmanlike on both sides. 8 seconds remaining, and timeout Loyalsock. Some jumpy fans here on the Ironman side, as you might expect, wondering 8 seconds left. Game over pretty much. It's over. And let's see, here's what Loyalsock went through the year one more time. And again, they're going to end 11-2 overall. Coming off a win last week, they put up 69 points. Boy, they had a tough schedule. 35-26 were their opponents this year. They open up with a Berks Catholic team, not as good as previous Berks Catholic teams, but pretty good going out of your district to play. The big win, I think, that really put them on the map this year was beating Southern Columbia in Week 3. Pretty convincingly, 27-10. All but Southern Columbia was a little bit injured at that game, but don't take anything away from the Lancers now that the Tigers have won another district title. Troy also had a nice year in District 4, and Loyalsock went up to beat them 36-35. So congratulations, great season by the Lancers. A little bit better season by the Danville Ironmen. Should be the last play of the game. G back to the end zone. Caught by Andrews. And he got hit as he caught the ball by Johnson, it looked like. It goes for a Blaze Alexander touchdown with 2 seconds left in the game. It just got swiped underneath by Johnson. Hopefully he's okay. And on the last really play of the game of significance, Loyalsock scores. It just makes a little bit closer the score on the scoreboard. Cooley's in for the extra point. Kick is up and good. and still have to do a kickoff here. So 2 seconds left in this game. Gave you all the scores from the area. State playoffs again start next week. Celebration starting here in Danville, and Mike Brennan has built himself quite a program here. 3 years here, 3 district titles for the former coach of Mount Carmel, Blue Mountain, Hazelton as well. Had a little bit of snow here about 6 o'clock, 6 to about 6:20. That's what you see on the field a little bit, and thank goodness that passed. We haven't had any snow, and really the wind has died down. Tolerable, I'll call it out here. Tolerable, that's about it. Again, Zach Gordon, 5 touchdowns tonight. Persing, 2 scores through the air. Rupp threw 2, had 2 catches for touchdowns. So a team effort by Danville, and celebration will begin. Team's ready. I didn't see any water jugs, did you? I see the water jug still there, so they're not going to dump it on the coach. Cooley is going to kick this one. Squib kick. And that will do it. The Danville Ironmen are a 3-time District 4 AAA champions. There you see the coaches, a lot of respect between these 2 coaches. You can see the disappointment on Justin Van Fleet's face. They had their opportunities, did Loyalsock, but unfortunately they couldn't convert. Danville played good defense, and they ended up putting 41 points on the board. Rich down on the field trying to get our players. We're with the coach and the district champions for Danville. Great job by our crew tonight. All of our camera people bundled up. Getting these pictures for you. And I'm sure happy high school basketball season will be upon us come January. But we have one more game for Friday Night Rivals, December 2nd or 3rd, state semifinals. I want to thank Rich Zalonis for filling in tonight for Jan Sechak. Appreciate him. Great job by the former South Williamsport coach. He's giving us double duty tonight, also acting as the reporter down on the field. Sirens blaring for the Danville Fire Department. Big celebration here for the Ironmen winning the district champs and championship. Try and get some interviews before we get off the air here. Carson Persing, Zach Gordon, Rich Zalonis, and Mike Brennan all down on the field. They're getting set up. We'll get them to them momentarily, as you can see. And congratulations to the Danville Ironmen. And Rich, let's see how they won this game.
Coach, congratulations. Coach Brennan on your District 4 championship. Carson, Zach, outstanding game. Coach, I'm going to start with you first. What was the difference tonight?
I think we controlled line of scrimmage. I really didn't. Defensively, the big stops in the red zone a few times, but these guys make plays. I mean, these guys are tough as nails. I mean, make plays all the time. I'm so proud of this group of kids. Never more deserving group of kids that I coach to have this opportunity to be 12-0. I'm really proud of them.
Well, it's obvious when you watch your teams play that they are well coached. The kids run to the football, they catch the football, and boys, I got to ask you, were you a little bit surprised tonight to see the middle of the field so wide open?
I don't think so. I mean, he finds a way to get open every time, so no, I wasn't surprised.
And it appeared that you got some touchdowns tonight on post patterns. Is that correct?
Definitely. I mean, we watched film, we prepared well. We have a bunch of coaches that put a lot of preparation in that helps us be the most ready for the game as possible. And when you have a quarterback like Zach that knows where to put the ball, it makes it a lot easier.
And that you did tonight, put the ball on the money numerous times. I thought you managed the game very well. You know, you have a command of the offense, and of course, it's obvious that you're well coached. I know your coach, we go back a bit of ways, so I know last year you were a little disappointed in your loss to Newman Goretti, so what did you do in the offseason to make sure that that doesn't happen this year?
I mean, I think we put a lot more preparation in the offseason last year. I mean, we had a lot of returning guys that had some experience, and we were a little battled with injuries last year and some adversity, but we fought through that, and it made us stronger for this year, and we've been healthy, hopefully to stay that way for the rest of the year, but I think that helped us big time, keeping people with experience to help in these big games.
Zach?
Yeah, Coach always says it's a daily grind, and I think we really embrace that mentality. Just like he says that every day, like a Tuesday in June is going to make you win these games. So we just took that mentality in.
Well, it's obviously, you know, you put the work in, fellas. You can go ahead and enjoy your victory tonight. Good luck next round. All right. Coach, next up, most likely Wyomissing. You know about their tradition, but you've got some tradition here. So if you can give us a quick insight to Wyomissing.
We played down there in the Eastern Final 2 years ago, so we're familiar with them. I'll go see them play West Perry tomorrow in the District 3 Championship, but you know, we're excited about it. Excited about the opportunity, but to win our third in a row, our school's never won 3 in a row. To win 12 games, our school's only won 12 games one at a time. Really proud of these guys. We're going to enjoy it for one night, and we'll get ready for whoever it is next week.
All right, Coach, best of luck to you. Great job. Back to you, Bob.
Great job, Rich. You're hired. Congratulations to the Danville Ironmen. The final score once again, Danville 41, Loyalsock 20. It's a District 4 AAA championship for the third straight time for the Ironmen. Great job by our crew tonight. Get warm, guys. I'm going to get warm myself. There you see the final score. We'll see you from Montour 2 weeks away from another game here on My TV.
You're watching Allied Services Friday Night Rivals, presented by Tom Hesser Dealerships on MyTV WQMY.